He was
All
cool.
right, we're live.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
All good.
Yeah, introduce yourselves, fellas.
I'm Tyler
Neil?
Valle. I'm a writer for GamesNosh.com, and I'm a YouTuber who goes under the name Gamergate Interviews.
Yeah.
I'm
name-
Leon
my name-
Gunsley. I've been on JT streams before.
I'm SD Zamaron. Sometimes I'm around the Facebook groups on Gamergate. I like to post Gamergate-related articles or anything that's related to gaming and the media that's important. You'll see me active on the Facebook groups, and I'm also on Twitter, too.
Hello, I'm Mr. Sonic. I'm the guy that is always in the background and playing video games, and I also stream a lot. And then
Yeah.
Tyler is a you.
Yeah, and he likes to take a ride to the danger zone right now, as you can see by his sunglasses.
I like to live dangerously in the
Yeah.
dark, inside the house, with sunglasses.
All right, Tyler, I want you to explain to us the whole story behind what was going on right now.
Okay. So I'm going to explain to the best of my abilities, and if Shrekbane does hear this and he disagrees with what I say, he has every right to, step in, call me whatever he wants to call me, and try to correct the story, because this is literally to the best of my knowledge. So I think it was not yesterday, it was the day before yesterday. I was on a live stream with the Layman, Justicar, Mikaru, Socks, Shoe on Head, Harmful Opinions, and other people. I can't remember the name of everybody.
Wasn't Grump Monkey on that stream, too?
Yeah,
I think
it
he
was.
was.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the drunk stream. And on that stream, I had said that we were talking about the Society of Professional Journalists, and I was talking about how a lot of people in Gamergate, mostly people who are from the Gamergate board on 8chan, are fucking spurging out about it and being fucking morons about it, and they need to calm down. And then that led into a bigger point of saying that I can't stand the fucking Gamergate supporters from the 8chan board because they're idiots. All of them. I don't like them. I hate those people. And I retract that a bit. I stepped that back. And the reason being for that was after that happened, I got a lot of shit from people on that board, and that's fine. They can hate me as much as they want. I thought it was funny. But I woke up that next morning, which was yesterday, and the first thing that happened when I got onto Twitter was that Raziel, who's I think his name is A-Team Seal now, sent me a DM just of a Google Hangout. Like, no message, not telling me what any of it is, just a Google Hangout invite. So I said, sure, I'll join. And inside that Google Hangout was Moltar, Shrekbane. I did not know this was Shrekbane at first. And Raziel, and some other people, I can't remember exactly. And from what I had heard, it was Raziel trying to be as polite as possible and be diplomatic with Shrekbane, who hates A-Team. And Shrek just going, you people are scum, you're trash, I hate you, I don't need to treat you. And he was basically just like being insulting, demeaning, and dehumanizing him. Which I was quiet. I had my mic muted, I was just waking up, I was drinking my coffee, and I was trying to listen in to see what the fuck was going on. But then they tried to talk again, and then Shrekbane just started to interrupt him and insult him. To which I then intervened by saying, you're a fucking faggot. Again, I didn't know this was Shrekbane, and it was after me just sitting there listening to him insult somebody, like, continuously for like 5 minutes. To which, and then he was like, and I just started making fun of him. I was like, he's trying to talk to you. Talk like a human being. Act like a fucking adult. And he was just like, and then I started to talk, and then he tried to interrupt me, to which then made me just talk louder, to which then he tried to interrupt me louder, to which I screamed at him, shut your fucking kraut mouth, Americans are talking. And then he left. Now, again, I want to clarify, I did not know this was Shrekbane at first. Had I known it was Shrekbane, I would have been a tad bit nicer, but still would probably have done the same thing because it was annoying just to listen to that. Now, at this point, I thought I had came in right at the beginning of this conversation. So what I've been told was that there was more that I didn't hear. But then this led from out of that to going back into it over Twitter, of me and Shrekbane going back and forth arguing with one another, to which he continuously started throwing allegations at me. You're A-Team. You only call out Gamergaters. You don't call out anyone from A Team. And I tried to explain to him. I said, I'm not A Team. I'm friends with people who are A Team because I don't care. I don't call them A Team because they don't call themselves A Team anymore. A Team to them is dead, so I don't call them that. But if, for lack of a better term, let's just go with it. And I was trying to explain to him. I was like, yeah, I'm friends with these people. I don't call them out because I'm not a part of their group. I call out Gamergate because I'm a part of Gamergate. I want Gamergate to be better than what it is. And he continuously tried to lump me in with these people. He wouldn't listen to me what I was saying. To which he just started. Then I called him a hypocrite for telling people, "Oh, you guys are A Team. You don't treat people like humans." And I was like, "You didn't treat Raziel like a human being when I was in that conversation with you. You're a hypocrite."
Yeah, I realize what was going. This is just weird though, because
this is news to me.
Usually, I cannot believe that Shrekbane would do this. I'm
just saying, this is from what I had seen. Now again, I was told that I was not in there from the beginning, so there could have been a point where Raziel was just going, "Hey Shrekbane, you're a fucking little girl. You don't have a penis." Like he could have been doing that. Like the whole time I was not there. Like the whole time I was asleep.
Yeah.
Part of me believes that that's not what was happening.
I know, and go ahead.
And the thing is like I know Shrekbane hates the quote unquote A Team because like he was a friend of a man in green. Now a man in green is a guy that I am just not going to be nice to. That guy is a fucking idiot. And that guy tried to pick fights with a bunch of people who were quote unquote A Team to try to tank the damage from A Team so Gamergate can continue to do whatever it was doing, even though Gamergate has not been inhibited by A Team once. And the only reason why the Gamergate sees A Team as a threat, quote unquote, is because people in Gamergate continuously shout that they exist. Like they're just gonna shitpost. You're not gonna stop. From what I heard, somebody, I don't know who it was, tried to kill themselves because they went up against A Team, tried to have a shit slinging contest with them, and then lost. I was like, why? Why bother? Just let them do their thing. They don't care.
I know they don't care, and usually I remember they told me the whole story about they shitpost. That's all they do.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, I agree with them, and they were saying yesterday is like we haven't changed at all. We were Gamergate supporters back in the beginning, and all we did was shitpost, and everybody thought it was funny. And now we shitpost and everyone thinks it's terrible. We're not the ones that changed. Gamergate's the ones that have changed, and I agree with them. Now, personally, I'm not a shitpost guy. I don't really do it. I don't find it entertaining. I'll call out people for being annoying, and I'll make fun of them if I see them being an asshole, which is what I saw Shrekbane doing. Now, I just want to clarify again that I didn't hear the beginning of his conversation with Raziel, but knowing both of them and knowing his animosity towards A-Team and how furious he was about Raziel leaking the DMs of Man in Green going, "Don't worry, I'm just pretending to be retarded." I'm not going to say that there was much more to what I heard. I just heard him being an asshole to somebody, and I just made fun of him. Because if you exist within the world where you believe you can shit talk people, you should be allowed to be able to say being shit talked, which he couldn't. He could not, and I say this because I started to shit talk him in that stream, and I wasn't even being smart about it. I'm never smart when I shit talk people. I'm just like, ha, "You're gay," like that's it. That's how highbrow as my insults are, because I just don't care. And that's what I did to him. I said, "Shut your fucking kraut mouth. Americans are talking." Like, seriously, that shouldn't offend anybody, but it offended him to the point where he left the hangout, and then came back and said, "Are you gonna act like an adult now?" And I said, "No," and then he left again. And then that's where the argument went on to Twitter. And then I'm not going to blame him. I'm going to say it's a friend of his, is the guy who's been screen capping my Twitter feed and then trying to post it in the gossip thread. Now, I went into the gossip thread and talked to them. They knew who I was, and I talked to them. And the people, I will say this about them. I have changed my opinion on them slightly because some of the people who are in there are cool. Like, they're cool people. Like, I had a very nice conversation with somebody about Games Nosh and myself, and he kept trying to tell me, it's like, "Dude, don't take it personally. They just shit talk everybody." And I was trying to explain to him, I said, I don't care. My only argument that I've ever made to them is like, I'm totally open to criticism. I don't like criticism. Nobody fucking likes being criticized. But I'm totally open to valid criticism. What I'm not okay with is lying, which is what a lot of the people who were in that thread were attempting to do. They were trying to insinuate all these horrible things, like not horrible things, but stupid things about me. Yeah, it's like they were trying to e-fame. I don't care like about that. My YouTube channel sucks. It's
No,
Mine too.
My
I'm
YouTube
only
channel
one
sucks
fan.
too, so
I, I
Go
was
ahead.
meaning defame, not e-fame.
oh, yeah, well, I know. Yeah, it's like, but that's what they think it is. They think it's like they think I think I'm an e-celebrity. It's like I have 1,700 subscribers. That's nothing. And all I do is I make videos that I enjoy, which are stupid as shit, and then I just throw them online. That's all I do. And they were like, he's trying to be a leader fag and tell us what to do. I said, no. I never tell. I can barely control my own life. Why the fuck would I try to tell people on the internet what to do? Like, do your own thing. All I say is that people. I'm saying is you should focus on less of what you hate, and like try to form that into being productive. That was my entire argument to them. And yes, I did not formulate that into a sentence that was better than I think everybody at 8chan is gay nerds. Like that was the equivalency of my entire rant. But I was saying earlier is like I'm getting a little off topic, but I'll be done soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, because it seems like it's kind of weird how people in like about 8chan seem to. A lot of people seem to like you, from what I hear. A lot of people.
sure.
But it seems like people from 8chan are kind of like getting upset with you for some weird reason.
The reason why they're getting upset with me is because I called them all gay. Like that was it. I said these guys are all a bunch of fucking gay idiots. Like that was it. Like I insulted them first. I am totally okay with that. I totally acknowledge that happened. And again, I don't care that they don't like me. Like they can fucking hate my guts for all I care. My only argument is like if you have a problem with me, like have legitimate problems with me. Don't invent problems. Which is like in my argument with Shrekbane, he was bringing up some of these these wrong things that people were saying in the gossip thread. Like the ones I was saying earlier, I'm just going to go down these. It's a very small list of just wrong. Tyler Valle spurts out on an 8-hour stream. I was gone within the first hour of that stream. I was gone within the first like 45 minutes. So to say I spurred out on an 8-hour stream, while it's technically true, is disingenuous. Says Anon is worse than social justice warriors. Never said that. Massively assert about GGHQ like all atheists. A bit. I think that they're morons. I couldn't say it's assert because it's one of those things that goes in and out. Like, had I not been invited to this stream, and I'm not saying that it's an inconvenience or it was an annoying, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was sitting here thinking about listening to the Mad World and Max Anarchy soundtracks while I played Counter-Strike. That was what was going through my mind right then. Like, loves to talk about Ralph and King of Pole. I don't talk about them at all.
I know. I
No
don't.
one talks about him.
No. People talk about them, but my thing about Ralph and King of Pole has always been this. I have no problems with either of them. King of Pole went off the deep end, came back reasonable. That was great for him. I made one joke at Ralph's expense on his stream, and he blocked me. But I've said time and time again, I have no problem with it. I have no problem. If he was telling block me and say, hey, Tyler, what do you think about this wrestling thing or that wrestling thing, because that's all we really talked about was wrestling, I would just answer him like normal. I have no issues with the guy. Tweet sweet nothings at Pterrodax. That is true. I'm extremely nice to Pterrodax. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Pterodax is amusing.
Yeah, I hear about Pterodax here and there, though.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for what happened to him.
I feel bad for what happens to a lot of people that Gamergate runs out of views for and then tries to throw to the side. Like that, and then Gamergate has done that a lot, and they don't acknowledge that. They just think, oh, well, this guy is just fucking assert. I'm like, no, people like Moltar, Drybones, Blade, they were all doing things for Gamergate, and then Gamergate turned.
I think Gwen probably supports you as well for what happened.
Gwen?
Yeah.
She's nice.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah, but
I like her.
She seems like a person who's very. She wants to stay out of like the drama, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
There's only two more. Usual faggots make up mentions. I don't even know what that fucking means. I have no idea what that means. I will tweet to everybody, and anybody can tweet at me. It's not like I'm like, this guy's a fucking nerd. I'm not gonna talk to him. He's not an E-famous. Like, I'll talk to anybody. I tweet back to anybody who tweets me. I enjoy the contact, like the interaction. And then
Finally, I'm a faggot now.
yeah, you're the only one I don't. Right. Here's the last one. Rights. This is the one that actually upset me. Rights for Games Nosh along with Atist Zangar. Now the thing is that they can call whoever they want whatever they want. I don't like them bringing in my technical employer into the mix because my technical employer has no opinion on Gamergate whatsoever. They stayed as neutral as possible, and they allow people like me who support Gamergate to work with them for no problem. They've seen my personal YouTube channel where I'm just like, everyone's gay, and they're like, that's fine, just do your
That's
thing.
fine. Gamergate is so gay. I cannot
Okay.
believe the fabulous stuff that happened here.
Yeah.
Like that's that was the only one that really upset me, is that they tried to throw the people I work with under the bus. Now, again, I went in there later and started talking to them, and other than one guy who posts Sigmund Freud next to his fucking, I can't properly describe how fucking stupid he is.
Well, you're lucky they didn't do the 9/11 memes. That'd be the one hilarious thing they would do.
No, the 9/11 things are. I find the 9/11 memes to be. Oh my god, they're great. But there's a guy with the Sigmund Freud who's like, I'm gonna psychoanalyze somebody that I've never met or ever had an interaction with, and I'll tell you exactly what they're thinking. And even though what I'm saying is bullshit, because I posted Sigmund Freud next to it, it'll seem smarter. All he did was polish up a turd and then just fucking post it. Other than that one fucking guy, I had a really nice conversation with the people in that thread and came away from it feeling feeling good about them. Like, I don't hate them, I don't like them, but I don't hate them anymore. Like, they're okay in my opinion. My issue was that I said before is like they told me this is their thread where they just go in and they vent their frustration. They're like, this guy is a shill, and then they go about their day. But just because you vent that frustration, it doesn't mean that you still don't carry that opinion with you. It's not like when you leave that thread, that opinion is gone. You still think it while you're out of the thread, so you're still gonna act on those emotions. Like, that's the problem.
So, a friend of mine did this to me.
I would love to get something like that. In fact, I'm gonna 9/11 edit my own picture because no one will do it for me because they have too much
Let
respect.
me go ahead and show that, present to everybody.
Yeah, a friend of mine did this to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you blow it up like close? Yeah. Yeah, go back and forth like.
Look at my face in the background. And there.
Yep. All right, back to Tyler.
All right, back to Tyler. Go ahead.
Back to Tyler.
Yeah. You were saying? Sorry.
That's pretty much like the beginning and the end of it. Like me, I believe now that looking back on it, both when me and Shrek were arguing with each other on Twitter, we were both in the wrong. Neither of us, I don't think either of us will actually admit, like say we're sorry, because I'm not. I'm not sorry for anything that I said to Shrekbane, even though I acknowledge that partially I was in the wrong because he was still being an asshole to a friend of mine. But like that's it. That's like my side of the story, I guess. Like,
wait, what's this all about? I'm confused because I just heard there's a stream on. There was some important issues to talk about, and all I'm hearing.
This is not an important issue. That's
it's just I wanted his side of the story of what happened.
Well, what did Shrekbane say or do? I mean, like, I can get the guy in here probably I could probably ask him if he wants to come on at least.
Well, the thing is like if they want to bring him on, I'm gonna leave, and just because I don't have the energy to argue the point. Like my point is that I admit that I didn't see the entire conversation, and I could be wrong, but from where I stood, I saw him insulting a friend, and I stepped in and I made fun of him. That doesn't make me right. It makes me wrong. It makes me immature, but it also just goes as far as me saying I don't give a fuck. Like, if his feelings were hurt by that, he shouldn't have been trying to insult somebody else by treating them like they were less than human, while telling me, oh, it's okay that I treat them less than human, but because I still treat them human, and that's different than what A-Team does, even though what he was doing was the exact same thing.
Well, who was he treating less than human?
Raziel.
Oh, well, that doesn't... What? Raziel isn't even A-Team.
Well, that was the argument that was being made, though. Like, I was getting called A team, and then being told that this is A team, and I was so confused as to what was going on. I'm still an A team. I'm just Tyler Valle, damn it. I just make YouTube videos and play video games and watch anime, and that's all I do. Like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
All right, well, I don't want
Lots of people accuse those that they don't agree with of being A team. It's the
Just
way
like
it is.
these SJWs accuse us of being misogynist.
I've
MRA.
gotten accusations of being A team and GNAA. I'm like, no, I'm neither one of them.
I don't even
I find
know
them amusing, but I'm not affiliated with either of them.
I swear to fucking God, how people can still talk about A-Team. I ignore it.
We were also
talking about him.
KKK as well, remember?
But we also did
Yeah,
9/11
and
and we killed the
this is
youth.
what I have to say. Stop talking about 18. They're not. It's not helping our cause out, and it's not helping Gamergate out in any way.
Well, we
That is
also
quite
got,
true.
we also got accused that we did the Holocaust. So
Yeah.
Who said that? Even though the antis were the ones
we
that said
started
Holocaust.
9/11, and then we also did, what was that other one?
my opinion is they shouldn't gas the youths.
Well,
It costs way too much. They could have spent out.
didn't you
on
know Gamergate was responsible for the Crusades?
Yes, because there was
That was
ancient
fucking
video
Gamergate.
games. There was the ancient video games back then that ran on. What were the video games that ran on?
Leon, keep in mind, Assassin's Creed games are not documentaries.
I know.
I know. Yes, originally you can play on an abacus. You know what that is?
I know what an abacus is.
It's a computer. It's one step away from a video game.
One of the first computers. It was not the first computer.
I'm
If
just
you want to
being
get technical.
truthful here. Just the pure bullshit the antis and A-Team are, and just everybody is doing. It's like they're shouting out like, "Oh, you must be a member of A-Team if you disagree with me," like that. It's like the antis are saying, "Oh, you're MRA or you're cis white male scum," like that. It's no different. So stop calling people A-Team if they've never been a part of it. I never been a part of A-Team.
Yeah, well, in this particular context, I don't know what Shrek's point of view is, but from what I know of him, he's fairly reasonable, so I don't know what he was going on about, and I haven't
He
seen
must have had a breakdown, just like everybody else. There's a lot of people that have been having breakdowns recently.
I don't
not something
know. I
down.
would have to see the conversation in context, so I'm not really going to comment further
But
about that.
But I'm just saying what it sounds like. It sounds like Shrek. If he sounded like a reasonable person, it sounded like he had sort of a breakdown. I didn't hear the whole thing like how John put it, but it could happen.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, it's one that what's his name did the stream.
Well, to me, like, I associate with a whole bunch of people that were actually A-Team, and I associate with people that are GNAA. And I'm like, man, I just talk to them because they're amusing. I'm not running around doing the things that they do.
Yeah, I had
But
one
they're
time
amusing
a
people.
long time ago. I mean, I blocked him, but a long time ago, an ISIS account followed my Twitter account, like before Gamergate started. And this is true story. I blocked him to get them from not following me.
Oh,
Wait, Leon.
The
you
funniest
were,
thing that A-Team ever did was
Yeah.
they started trolling the ISIS accounts.
Yes.
That was fucking hilarious.
But I get tired of this. The ISIS do this all the time. They'll. Ugh.
They haven't set their accounts to private.
That was fucking brilliant. They just ran around looking at every ISIS account and trolling the shit out of them.
Uh-huh.
Come on, that's fucking hilarious.
That's the only good thing that they could have done. I mean, just trolling the hell out of those. I mean, if there's anybody out there that's pure evil in this world, it's the ISIS. I don't know why the SJWs are still trying to make it sound like men are the evil thing in the world. It's the ISIS. It's the men in the ISIS. The men and teenagers.
Leon, you're attacking people of color. How dare you?
I'm not. I'm not attacking people of color. I'm just attacking the man-children, and teenagers of the ISIS. Not because my definition of a man is someone that actually accepts responsibility, doesn't do wrong, or doesn't try to hurt other people.
Yes.
That's my definition of a man. ISIS, they're not man. They're man-children.
I finally get Coward to follow me. Oh, cool. I always make fun of him.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
Well,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
I
John.
think the problem with drama in Gamergate is there's like two things. Firstly, people make a habit for some reason to attack each other for things they said, not necessarily anything wrong. And the other thing is people just don't accept criticism. And when that happens, it becomes like a big circle jerk where someone's like, "Well, hey, this thing you said. Well, it's kind of stupid, and this is the reason why." And then everyone goes, "Oh no, I'm being attacked. Here, quickly, gang up on that person." And then it just creates a self-feeding cycle, just never ends. And
Oh yeah.
it's been happening since early November when King of Pole lost his mind and just made up all these conspiracy theories about Skype cabals and things like that.
And then I heard a rumor that someone was like spreading about Lizzie and him. It's like they had a little drama spat with each other, having some type of like friend zone thing or something like that. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, Paul tried to get Lizzie to go out with him and failed miserably.
But they live far
Understandably,
away from
because
each other.
Lizzie is out of his league to a big extent.
I know, because I found out she was married.
Oh.
Yeah,
No, she's not married.
she's engaged or something. I thought I saw like a
No, she's
on her
not
left ring
engaged.
finger. I thought I saw a ring one time on her left ring finger. So.
No, she goes out with Brandon Morris. Brandon Morris is her boyfriend.
I've read a few of his articles before. I've read Lizzie's articles too.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, the fact that people don't want to take criticism anymore and people don't want to look at things rationally and calmly, it just shows me that there's a huge lack of introspection from our side, and that's one of the biggest disappointments I'm seeing lately.
Like I said in my interview, stay away from a fucking hugbox mentality. You have to keep away from it. Read everything. Even if you don't agree with it, read it. Learn from it. And say, hey,
Yeah.
maybe we can be doing this or that better.
Pretty much.
Right. Usually, if there's problems with people in Gamergate, it has something to do with, oh, this person said this, or I don't like this person because of his opinion, blah, blah, blah. It has something to do with two people or a group, but not like Gamergate as a whole, though. Most of the time.
My advice, if you have a problem with someone in Gamergate, on Twitter or on Chan or on Reddit, tell them to suck your dick and get on with life. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Suck my dick. You're wrong. If they come back with a logical argument after that, then you argue with them.
All I say is I don't give a shit about A-Team anymore. Yes, they're trolls, but they admit to being trolls. So you know what? More power to them.
Hey man, trolls.
If you get
troll. You look at someone like Weave.
I've been
Weave
wanting to
is
do
the
a video
epitome
series
of
on
trolls
that.
are gonna troll.
I've been wanting to do a video series for a long time now on just like how trolls hide under bridges and they harass people that cross them. I was thinking of doing something where they just read the comments of all these trolls.
Here, I got a question. Am I
and dress
IT?
up like the trolls with the squeaky annoying voice you want to.
Here's a question. Am I IT because I stole all the pictures in Twitter?
Yes. The thing is this is the only argument that I'll make about this, and then I'm just gonna let this shit rest and go back to playing video games. Is you're never gonna escape the fact that the moment someone in Gamergate has a problem with you, you're no longer Gamergate in their mind. You're A-Team. You're a shill, social justice warrior. You're this, you're that. Like that.
Which is why the best thing everyone can do right now is stop identifying as Gamergate. It's really kind of dumb.
Alright, what the fuck did Christian Allen just post?
I don't know who that is.
Sorellen. He did an interview with Niche Gamer. He's openly pro Gamergate. I'm pretty sure he was doing Poe's Law on it.
Okay, can I say something?
I got it in the side chat here.
All
I
right.
got something on my. I get messages on my tablet all the time from Twitter saying everybody you're following is doing a new hashtag.
I
What the
want to
hell
see
was
this
Mediagate
before it
today?
does
What the
okay
hell was
tomorrow.
that?
Can Gamergate step it up, or you hate?
It was
female
another.
hormones?
It was another one of those situations of the same thing with David Draymond, where David Draymond is like, "Hey, I know you're about ethics and games journalism, but you need to do something else." His thing, at
Yeah, but
least,
I think Christian Allen is smart enough that he's pose-lying it. He's not
yeah,
being an asshole about it. He just thinks that this is a good cause, and I think you should support it.
yeah.
What's this? This.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves to necessarily one thing. I think that the whole thing that David Draymond was on about was just completely retarded because he was upset over Jew jokes, and he was expecting a whole bunch of politically incorrect people to get on board with him. But the problems of the gaming industry lie way deeper than just the journalism side.
Yeah, it's like how my side of the fight. I don't give a shit about the journalism. I do care about the SJWs trying to infiltrate the gaming industry, but the one I give the biggest care over is the ethics in the game devs. Not just the ones who make the games, but the companies overseeing them, like Activision, Ubisoft, and EA. EA is the worst of the EA and 2K are now the worst of the offenders because, well, it looks like Activision is starting to learn from their not Activision. Ubisoft is starting to learn from the mistakes with the new Assassin's Creed game being single player, so that might say something. I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen the game. I haven't played it yet.
But
So,
did you see the new article?
but with Battlefront coming out, the new Battlefront game coming out, I'm not calling it Battlefront 3 because that ain't a successor to the amazing Battlefront 2. It's a shitty Battlefield port.
You mean Star Wars? You mean the
Yes.
Star Wars one? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It was a shitty Battlefield port, not a Battlefront game.
Okay. I got you there.
Go right ahead.
The only thing I'm asking about is the whole part about what Ubisoft was doing. And did you read that article that happened? That it was a PR stunt for them for Ubisoft Games' new Assassin's Creed.
Wait a second.
Oh, that's
Never
basically.
satisfied them.
Yeah, I know what that was. That was basically Ubisoft got flack from the progressives that there were no female characters.
And
Then
then they put
Ubisoft-
female characters, and then they get attacked. Like, okay, go right ahead. Sorry about that.
Wait, Christian Allen works on Insomniac, and he did his company did Sunset Overdrive, the Spire series, Ratchet and Clank. So
I
Okay,
would.
go right ahead. All
I
right,
would
let's finish.
suggest waiting
Let's let
until-
John finish this. I'm gonna let him finish this. Sorry about that, John.
Go.
sorry.
Okay, what was going on is how they put it was they said it like this. We are. They basically said, okay, the progressives originally complained about, oh, you don't have any females. Then they put the females in, like, oh, you're just trying to make up or bullshit like that. You could put in better words.
I know, and this is the kind of problem. This is the kind of hypocrisy that we're dealing with right now. There's no pleasing these people.
No.
No,
Oh,
there is.
And now Ubisoft learned this firsthand. It's like, why are we trying to put our resources aside? I mean, yes, I am glad that they're doing two different characters you can play, kind of like a Grand Theft Auto 5 player switch. That'd be amazing having two different stories, or doing what Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep did, where you could pick between three different characters. They would intermingle. There'd be like stories where they clash with each other and fight, but they would separate. And they would have their different stories. I'm thinking it'd be something like that or something like Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm not sure.
I was going to say something about that. Fucking Assassin's Creed, the whole thing, like they did it on Unity, like, hey, you know, we don't want to, we're not gonna make a woman because the artistic version is not on there. So then they're considering, okay, we're gonna make a female player on the next game. So we got a female character. Oh no, they're using for good PR. Like, they tried to pander and they got themselves fucking shit in the leg for some fucking reason. I'm like, you know, you cannot place these fucking monsters.
You can't
No,
really.
but you know what? They have no leg to stand on now. The progressives have no leg to stand on now if they argue about this. Reason why is Ubisoft says, we did what you wanted. You wanted a female character, so we gave you a female character. Now shut your traps. Get back. Go back under your bridges, or better yet, or better known as your parents' basements, and shut the hell up. That's how they should have put it.
Like,
What they should have done was really just when they complained about their no female characters, they just said, well, there's a reason for that. And they did do that at first. They explained it and they went on about it. And they said, there's basically, it's a mechanical design choice. It's part of our artistic vision. And in my opinion, I don't really see a particular need for female characters in Assassin's Creed. I think that I haven't played this particular game, but I think they did it well.
Could I say something about the new one? Why there couldn't be a female character? It was designed for the story was designed around a male playable character, and it was a shitty one. I mean, yes, I had the best kiss in video game history, but other than that, it was shitty. It was a shitty story, and if they had put a female there, it would have probably been even shittier.
Oh, real quick, I saw something on Twitter. I think there's I'm sure people saw the Supergirl trailer, the TV series.
It looks like I'm kind of this. I'm gonna take flack for this, but I might look into it. I might give it a chance. Just give it a chance. It's kind of a shitty Gossip Girl look to it, but you know what? If they do a good job with how they write her, it'd be great. But like the partner, whatever his name is.
Guys, just a thing, just a thought here. If there's a current thread in the course of conversation, wait until people have had their chance to say it first before switching gears to a new topic, because
let's finish. Yeah, let's finish the past one.
I was gonna say some people, I think SJWs are feminists. There's I guess a particular scene they were complaining about. Supergirl, I guess, had her belly out or belly button or something, or they thought it was sexist or whatever, and then they compared that picture to Arrow, and they're like, okay, you don't complain when you see the actor Stephen Amell Arrow without his shirt on the cover of the Arrow, do you? But people complain about this particular pic.
We were talking about the Assassin's Creed thing about handling the feminism. We'll get to that in a second, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll bring up the whole Assassin's Creed Chronicles China.
Yeah, go on.
That has a female character.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Assassin's Creed. So, when I was watching the trailer Synergy, I'm not. The first thing I noticed is, damn, they just announced this without for surprise. Like they don't do we're gonna do this and then war trailer or something like that. They just put it out. And I noticed that there was 2 characters, but I didn't think much of it. I'm like, oh, cool, 2 characters, cool.
I closely, and when I did the stream with Soul and Lion, we were closely looking at the poster and stuff, analyzing everything. There's going to be a lot of new features in this game by looking at the weapons and stuff. The weapon fight and stuff like that's going to be way different. Unity didn't have it, but I think they might be bringing it back where they're going to have pistol aiming now again, because you're going to have revolver system.
You are so hopeful for a company that literally does nothing but cut corners to actually add new features to a game franchise that they literally don't give 2 shits about, beyond the fact that they know that all they have to do is just make a game, change the way it looks slightly, throw it onto a disc, throw it out there, and people will buy it.
Can I say something here? If they tried doing that, then we'd have another game like Black Flag. We didn't. Yeah, we had a Rogue, but
it's basically the same game every game.
Yeah, it is.
Any franchise that can put out 2 of the same series in the same year without seeing there being any problem with it whatsoever is not worth the time. At least Call of Duty has the decency to do 1 a year.
No, it's rare to see Can I put some here? It's rare to see them do 2 games a year. The only time they'll ever do it is if they put one on a handheld, like a different one on a handheld, and a different one on the consoles.
They
basically.
did that.
And that's how it always went. And then this year it was something way different. It was
they did that a long time ago.
Yeah, but
they did.
Yeah, but now this year it's something way different. You're seeing
you might remember it.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember Bloodlines. I remember Liberation. I remember those handheld games.
Yes, and there's also another franchise that they did.
And who played those?
No, the thing I'm just saying, Ubisoft is arguably in the top 3 worst companies in gaming right now because they just don't care. Like,
Yeah.
Actually, EA takes that title.
No.
Okay?
EA goes beyond not caring and goes, let's be awful. We're great at that.
Could I say something about Ubisoft though? They learn from their past mistakes. There's
do
no
not.
online play on this game whatsoever. So
And-
let me tell you something. People got pissed off with the online play last time. They got pissed off with the microtransactions. They got pissed off when they freaking put always online DRM on Assassin's Creed.
Leon, when someone's in the middle of saying something, try not to interrupt them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler, go ahead.
Watch when you see this new one come out, and it's going to have microtransactions through the Uplay system that they said that they wanted to take down before, but then just kind of quietly have left online for some fucking reason, even though no one on this planet likes Uplay. Like, Ubisoft isn't... I want to like Ubisoft. I want to so badly, because I used to be a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games up until 3. I was a huge fan of them. I defended them I would defend them to the death. And then you realize that they don't care. Like, they're just like, we're just gonna pump it out there, and it's gonna be a broken mess, and then we're just gonna tell people they gotta deal with it. Like, and sure, I wasn't one of the people who was like, oh, this fucking thing about the female assassin, that was dumb. I didn't argue that point. I wanted to see how the game worked technically, and it was a piece of shit. And I have no hope that the next one's not going to come out and be a piece of garbage. The only thing that they have left in my mind that is anything decent is the Rayman series, and they fumbled Rayman Legends so hard that I'm surprised they didn't kill the franchise. They are incompetent, and it's not like EA, where EA is like, we're just gonna be bad and we're gonna be good at being really bad. Ubisoft is like, we just don't know what the problem is, and so we're just not gonna fix anything because we don't know what's going on, and then they just out. Like Far Cry 4. What was Far Cry 4? Far Cry 4 was Far Cry 3, with the one argument that people made against Far Cry 3 changed. Everybody got bored of Far Cry 3 after Vaz died. So what did they do? They made the main character of the fourth game a flamboyant Vaz, and then he's through the entire game. That was their one way to try to fix a problem, but the games were exactly the same. No changes. They're lazy. Call of Duty is the same thing game to game. Battlefield now is the same thing game to game. Every franchise Ubisoft owns is going the way of being the same thing game to game, because they know they can get away with it, because apologists and fanboys will still buy it.
True. That's
Can you hear what I'm saying though now?
You're saying that they've realized past mistakes, and I'm saying that they don't.
Right here. I'm giving them the benefit of
let Tyler finish.
Okay, but I just need to say this.
No. I'm done.
I'm going to say it like this. I've been saying this is going to be the last time I'm giving him a chance with the game. I'm being truthful here. I'm because I've noticed this little. How they do this is like every time they release one shitty game, they always do a better one after. So I'm hoping that this will be the same way. But if it's not, I won't buy the next Assassin's Creed game. But you know what? I'm going to give them one last chance with this. But if they screw up, I admit I'm not going to buy another one of their games, and I'm giving them that one last chance. And that's what I'm trying to say is I know Ubisoft's I know the Assassin's Creed teams how they handle this. It's like one game that's shitty and stuff. They try to innovate and make a new engine. Like Unity basically was almost just like a heavily updated, what's it called? The Anvil Next engine is what they did. They tried adding new controls and stuff. They didn't give two shits for the storyline. I'm being truthful for that. They didn't give two shits for the storyline, and guess what? The game sucked. There were so many bugs on it and everything, and hopefully, chances are this game's going to be as bugged as hell. I'm going to be truthful. I'm expecting this game to be as bugged as hell because let's just face it, they're going to probably rush it for an October release, but who knows? I'll give them the chance. If they screw up, I won't buy from them again.
May I recommend, then, Leon, maybe you should wait until after the game's released before buying it?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm gonna tell you something in my story with Ubisoft. I fucking hate them for what they did with fucking Splinter Cell. And they fucking forgot about Prince of Persia completely.
Yeah, they did.
And I played Assassin's Creed till Revelation because I like the SEO story a lot. And then when they go and we're gonna do another story with another character, and they just fucking kill Desmond. I'm like, you fucking guys destroyed the whole hope that the Assassin's Creed Y was famous. This whole
No.
story against the. Mhm.
I'm sorry. I'm going to end up disagreeing with you here, but go.
I mean, me personally, I like the Assassin's Creed series a lot, but I was curious of what was going to happen with the story against Desmond and how Desmond is gonna take out the how it's gonna save the world at the same time taking out the Aspergo. I think there were the enemies, and I was curious about how the story is gonna go on, and like they just killed it for me, so I didn't have any interest with some Assassin's Creed anymore.
Here's the thing. Right now, they're focused on a new title right now. There's one that they're doing, The Division and Rainbow Six Siege.
I heard about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're possibly going to focus on that, and they also got The Crew, which they're still probably working on too.
The Crew? Really?
It's
Ugh.
out. It's out.
I know. I played it. I haven't bought in the game yet because I wasn't impressed by the. I was not impressed by the. What's it called? That the freaking. The freaking beta. I was not impressed by it whatsoever.
Tyler was going to say something.
No, the thing is, I'm going to say is that I understand giving them one more chance because I tried.
Mhm.
I played Assassin's Creed 1 when it came out. I liked it, even though it was a repetitive mess. The Ezio story was fantastic, in my opinion. Then Assassin's Creed 3 came out, and that was like, I was so excited. I was like, this is one of my favorite moments in history. The American Revolution was awesome. I'm going to get to play this. And then they were like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create two characters for you guys to play as. A guy who's the bad guy, but is really entertaining and is around a lot of really entertaining people. And then the most boring, bland, angry, hate-filled, angsty, whiny cunts in the entire series. This guy is like day one Desmond, just, I'm an assassin. Like, I just couldn't get into it. I was like, this guy's shit. And then I was like, well, let's play Assassin's Creed 4, because Assassin's Creed 4 was literally them just going, you know what? The only thing people liked out of Assassin's Creed 3 was the pirate thing. So we're just going to take that and make it its entire game. It's not going to make us look cheap or just downright fucking dumb at all. Let's do it. And that came out. It's fine, I guess. But it's still just rang of them just going, we can get it out in a year, can't we? Yeah, we can. Let's go. And then they just pushed it out. And then Unity came out, and Unity was Unity. They had three chances, in my opinion, and they fucked up all three of them. So, like, I know you disagree.
I disagree on Black Flag because Black Flag was a pretty good game, in my opinion. Same as Rogue, if you've ever played Rogue. I just have to say it like this. To anyone that wants to buy last year's copy of Assassin's Creed, buy Rogue for the PC. It's a pretty good game. They improved Black Flag. It was basically just Black Flag, but far improved. It had a better story. You're playing a Templar this time. What's better than that? You get to play a Templar.
I feel like Rogue was just a cash grab to put something on the last gen.
Same with Unity. It was
like
just a cash grab.
They made Unity and like, oh fuck, we cannot make this on last gen. Well, make a fucking another story to put on last gen to get money.
It was microtransaction too. I was like,
oh god, yeah, microtransactions.
It had a whole bunch of microtransactions. I was like, what the fuck?
All I could say about why there's microtransactions is because some dumbasses keep buying them. They don't have to have them. If we don't buy them, they won't be on.
But wait a minute, Leon. What about my sweet horse armor? I mean, come on, I gotta have that horse steed looking at Link.
I don't give a shit about horse armor. There was
What about that? What about that?
These things called people keep buying the shortcuts in Black Flag, which was one of the biggest problems. Was people bought all the shortcuts. It's like, hey, we sold all those shortcuts. Guess what? We can now. Guess what? We don't have to worry about. We could try to take this team into much more extreme circumstance. Let's sell these points and have you get the ability to upgrade your weapons by paying for it. Ugh. And if people who are playing Unity actually pay for those things, I have to say, go to hell. I have a giant middle finger for you jackasses that wanted to pay for it.
The thing is, that's not even like the problem. Is like it's not like them just going, "Oh, we realize we can go bigger." It was them realizing, "Oh, we don't have to care, and people will still just throw money at us."
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
for me, the last I wanted to give Ubisoft any of my cash was after what they did with Rayman Legends, because Rayman Origins is the best 2D platformer that I have played in years, maybe even over a decade. And then
Fucking
Rayman,
awesome.
yeah, and then Rayman Legends is coming out, and I was so excited for it. And Ubisoft was like, this franchise just kind of makes us money, and it doesn't cost a whole lot. What are we gonna do? And then they were just like, let's just fumble it. And then when we go to pick it up and try to fix it, we'll just fumble it again. And then we'll fumble it again, and then we'll fumble it 4 times, and then we'll get out the game, because that's what a professional company does. Like they have they are as professional as an indie developer, and they are a multi-continental like publisher/developer. They have no reason to be as incompetent as they are, but they are, because people will continuously will give them a chance.
Yeah.
Here's the funny part. Ever since Jade Ramon left, everything's gone to hell because of what happened.
I would say that is more of a coincidence rather than anything else.
Yeah, because Jade Ramon was actually the only person that actually helped produce the first Assassin's Creed. Even though the first time I played that game, it had bugs, from what I heard.
Yeah.
But they fixed it. They fixed it.
Can I say something about the first Assassin's Creed game? There wasn't a more repetitive game out there. It was that game. I mean, I don't know why it got a perfect scores by everybody.
Because
it
it's
was not,
different.
But
it was
the
not
funny
worth
thing
it.
was,
It
I
was-
enjoyed that game, and then it got me into the story, because at first I never really got into Assassin's Creed, and people really liked it, Assassin's Creed, for some reason, because it got popular because of the costume.
Well,
Come on.
they had an idea with that game, and a lot of people like it because of that. But a lot of people didn't like it because it was repetitive, but they think they can improve on it, and that's why a lot of people like Assassin's Creed 2. I was not too big with Assassin's Creed 2. I think I like more Brotherhood and Revelation.
Yeah.
Brotherhood and Revelation were improvements to Assassin's Creed 2. That's what they basically were. Brotherhood, you basically had the same thing as that gun. They made the gun much more easier to use. They still had the hidden blade, and they had it all. They had all that stuff, and Brotherhood also added one more thing: you could call on assassins to do your work for you, and they got rid of that in all the other games. 3 was the last game where you could call on assassins to protect you. 3 was the last.
And then they brought it. Then they brought it back with Black Flag.
Also, I like the online in Revelation and Brotherhood. Like, the online versus was so fucking fun.
They tried to bring it. Did you play Black Flag? Did you
I
see
did
the
play
ending?
Black Flag. Yeah, I saw the ending. I was just thinking, I didn't really thought of it as much as like Brotherhood and
Because
Revelation.
remember, Desmond died,
Mhm.
and then they brought out Part 4, where it was like, what the fuck?
Mhm. It was 3 that.
Desmond should have never existed. That's there. I said it. The
Mhm.
whole everything that did not pertain to being inside the fucking simulation was boring as shit. No one was interesting, and everyone was dumb.
I wanna talk to I wanna see the idiot that came up with the idea and slapped the crap out of the person who thought it would have been a good idea to kill Desmond off. I'm getting tired of all the bullshit they're pulling. That was a stupid.
I think
dumbass
they were
move
trying to
do.
kill off the franchise itself,
Yeah.
and they decided, well, since we made a lot of money off of Part 3, we might as well make another one, but this time we'll do it with pirates.
And we'll do it with pirates because that's what everyone liked. They liked the pirates, and then they started rubbing their hands together and realized, oh, we can put out 22 games. 22 is what they put out. If you count mobile games, that's how many games. That's how many Assassin's Creed games there are now. 22.
I can imagine them doing another Assassin's Creed, but they'll do it in Japan. But then
That's
again,
the one I'm
they
waiting
decided,
for.
yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
I've been saying it like this, how it's currently going right now. They probably have enough for maybe 3 games left. Just how their stories are going, how they're moving closer and closer to current time. They have 3 stories. They have 3 stories left. But
They have a lot more. They have a lot more stories. They've been releasing a whole bunch of stories.
Look,
20.
the reason why I'm waiting for an Assassin's Creed Japan, because it will be the closest thing to Tenchu.
Go ahead, Tyler.
20. I counted. There's been 20 Assassin's Creed games.
Damn.
This series is milked.
It's milked to the death, dude.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations 3, 4, Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Altair's Chronicles, Bloodlines, 2, Discovery, Project Legacy, Lost Legacy, Recollection, Multiplayer Rearmed, 3, Liberation, Utopia, Pirates, Memories, Chronicles, and Identity.
Now, if only we had some kind of website, or maybe a group of websites in competitions with each other, to go ahead and take a look at these games and assess their value in a way that consumers can know whether or not they want to buy the game or not.
I can tell you right now, after Assassin's Creed Revelations just stopped buying them because they stopped caring. They stopped. You
I
can't.
know.
I
You
won't
can't,
even bother with Assassin's Creed no more.
the thing is, like, even if it's not Assassin's Creed, they should go to any franchise. When you can tell the developer just doesn't give a shit anymore, don't
Yeah.
support it. Like,
Call
look
of
at,
Duty is like the biggest example out of all of them. You might call Assassin's Creed the worst, but I'm saying Call of Duty is the worst.
I'm not
Well,
saying.
here's the funny thing about that.
Huh?
I'll say this.
Oh,
Call of Duty right now, sales are dropping every year or so.
Of course.
It's
well,
like
let's be
like
let's
a
be
million. Now it's like it's dropping. It's like it used to be like 3 million. Then last year, the next release 2 million. Then another goes up, but it goes up and down sometimes depending on what players want to buy. It's like
I gotta
sales
tell
are
you
pretty much
oh, my bad.
dropping up
I
and
am
down.
not, and let me tell you something about Call of Duty. I'm not buying the Black Ops 3. I'll rent it from GameFly, but I'm not buying it. I'm not going to give them my money for that game. I've never done that in the past. I've always rented the Call of Duty games. I didn't
Well,
give a shit.
luckily, the only franchise that has not been milked yet, but then again, they already did it, was Splinter Cell.
I gotta tell you something at least about Call of Duty. I'm gonna give them credit. At least their game runs 60 and they're pretty polished. So
You have to give.
The only
you have to
game
give
I
them
have
credit.
hope for anymore that I could see working anymore is a game called Homefront. I think some of us have played it. Have any of you guys
Right
ever played
now,
that
I'm
game?
playing that one on PC.
Yeah, it's the single player wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. It was an average single player, but the multiplayer was really good. And what they're trying to make the new Homefront to look like, they're trying to make it feel like a new Far Cry game.
I'm not going to support it because I don't support Crytek because Crytek is dead.
Crytek isn't doing it anymore.
Whoa, attitude. Jesus.
I'm sorry,
saying
man.
Crytek
All right,
isn't
I'm
doing
sorry.
it
Do
anymore.
you work for
Leon's
them?
very passionate about himself.
I like the Homefront series, but Crytek is not doing Homefront anymore, and I can be truthful on that one. Crytek is not doing it because they sold it to what's the company called?
No, it's Crytek. Crytek has
EA.
it. THQ are the last ones who had it.
No, but they
Oh,
sold it.
Leon, can you get a source on that?
I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think EA bought them out, I believe.
Koch Media, I think.
Oh, it's being developed by Deep Silver and published by
Silver,
Deep
yes.
Yeah.
what
So
games
Crytek
they
didn't
made?
sell it.
Deep Silver owns Volition, who's made Saints Row series. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
They also own Metro franchise.
They dirtied it. They dirtied it by handing it into Crytek's greasy little fingers. I can't like it anymore.
I understand you
give
don't like Crytek. I understand.
They did Saints Row 4. They did Metro Last Light. Yeah, the Dead Island games suck, but
They're
Crytek
making
is-
Dead Island 2.
yeah, but hopefully they do well with Dead Island 2. But I'm not gonna give any hopes up for that. But you know what? If they do good with if this game is good, I'll buy it. If it's not,
Tyler, what has Crytek been up to?
Crytek are literally Satan because they are holding on to the best game franchise in all of gaming, and they refuse to make a new one.
What game?
Time Splitters.
Time
Oh, I remember that.
They bought the Time Splitters developers, Free Radical, when Free Radical was almost done with Time Splitters 4. The game was almost finished. They canned it and then told them, you know what, people just want realistic shooters, guys. So stop. And then there was petition after petition after petition to get Time Splitters 4, and they still just said no. the one piece of credit I will give them is that there is a small development team, I think coming out of UK, that are making a free-to-play like HD version of the multiplayer with all of the best maps from all of the games in the series, and Crytek has given them the go-ahead to make it. But we will never get the official not Far Cry, Time Splitters 4, because Crytek doesn't think anyone wants it. Crytek thinks that people want to see boring, bland, brown and bloom first-person shooters.
Could I
I fucking
make another
wait.
call out
I'm
on?
gonna say something about Crytek. Crytek hasn't made anything good. Only Crysis 1 and a good fucking engine. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made a game that looked good, and everyone dropped their jaw, and then just that was it. That's what they've coasted on. Because Crysis 2 sucked, and Crysis 3 was so fucking boring and downgraded from Crysis 2, which was downgraded from Crysis 1, that like barely anybody bought it, and then they just canned the series.
Does anyone
Except
even
for
play
except
Crysis
for
3
Far
online?
Cry, except for Far Cry Blood Dragon. That's the only series I'll give them credit for.
No, not Far Cry. Crysis, not Far Cry. I don't think Crytek had anything to do with Blood Dragon.
No,
Well, they're
Far
interested.
Active. No, Ubisoft does Far Cry.
Yeah, Ubisoft does Far Cry.
That's the only game that I could really give Ubisoft credit for is Far Cry.
Moving on, SD had said something about the Supergirl series.
Oh, I think I talked about that. I said something
Go
that.
ahead and continue again.
You
Oh,
have the floor.
okay. I said something that SJWs were, I guess, complaining about a certain scene. That Supergirl comes out like with her tank top on and her belly button exposed, and some people, I guess, got mad about that because they said something. It was sexism about it was Supergirl or some crap like that. And then someone pointed out, "Oh, you're complaining about this specific scene, but you don't complain about Stephen Armel, the guy from Arrow, about the cover of him without a shirt on." Total just hypocrisy.
I'm not going to play the hypocrisy card because men and women have different physiology. For instance, there's a reason why women are expected to cover up their breasts and men are not. However, what I will say of that is, what are we doing? Women can't show off their belly buttons anymore? Are we going back to 1960s early Star Trek era of standards? I mean,
Yeah, right now they're trying to be more Puritan now.
I'm
I'm starting to realize feminists are becoming more Puritan
I'm
than ever.
counting down the days when they do that to the WWE. I'm counting down the days they do that to the WWE because the female wrestlers or the divas, what they call them, they're probably going to go ape shit. You shouldn't call them divas, or the fact that they're usually their belly buttons are exposed all the time when they wrestle, they're going to go ape shit. I'm waiting for that day to happen because when they do that, they're screwed.
See if I can try to find that picture on Twitter so I can share it with you guys and share it with the chat. Let me
not
see if
to
I
mention feet and ankles. Do you know how many of those get exposed on television? My
can. I
gosh.
know exactly.
See, my problem with this one is, and it's gonna be a minor thing for like comic book fans, is that they did a thing that a friend of mine and me like to call black casting, which is where they take a character who's not black and then they just go, "You're black now," for reasons.
Oh, political correctness?
Well, yeah, it's like for like political. I don't even want to call it political correctness. They've done it with the
They
Fantastic
got
Four.
ape
Yeah,
shit
they
with
did.
Witcher 3. You saw that with Polygon.
No, well, yeah, I fuck Polygon. I've yelled all I can yell about them over the last few days. But it's like with Supergirl. It's like Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend, childhood friend, is a scrawny, red-headed ginger fuck. Like, and now he's like a black, like muscular,
Suave
like
guy.
dude,
He's
bro,
very
who's
suave.
dating.
Yeah.
He's dating Supergirl. Like, why is that Jimmy Olsen?
Mhm.
Why can't that just be insert fucking character here?
Yeah.
Why can't that be insert DC character who's fucking black here? Why?
Because that would be smart. But what they're doing is
I've been yelling about this for fucking months. I cannot stand it. I'm not going to see the Fantastic Four mainly because it's Sony, and Sony fucking sucks when they make superhero movies. But like, it's so fucking dumb it's so insulting to like all of DC Universe to just go, you know, there's not enough good black characters. We're just gonna make characters black now. Like there are tons of characters who exist within the DC Universe who are black that are awesome. Jon Stewart, Green
Hell
Lantern.
yeah.
My favorite Green
Yes.
Lantern, one of my
I
favorite
like him.
characters.
Cool.
Cyborg is black. He's also one of my favorite characters. He could have been fucking Cyborg before he turned into a robot. He could have been Jon Stewart, and I wouldn't have had a problem
Also,
with him. But
don't
no,
for-
it's Jimmy Olsen.
Also in
Also,
Marvel,
don't forget about
Luke Cage.
Vixen too.
Also
Don't forget-
Luke Cage.
Don't forget about Spawn.
Yeah,
Spawn,
well, Spawn.
yeah.
Well, he's owned by Image though, but yeah,
No,
no, he's cool.
Yeah, he's owned by Image now.
But I have to just say,
Also, Tyler, quick correction. The Fantastic Four franchise is owned by the movie franchise is owned by Fox, not Sony.
Oh,
Yeah,
Fox.
it was Fox.
yeah,
Thank you.
Fox, yeah.
Okay, so
But
Fox,
there's, yeah,
Fox
they
and
screwed.
Sony both fucking suck at this.
If they wanted to know how to do good DC characters, they should see how WB is doing it with the Flash and Arrow. They're doing a really good job with those characters. They're mixing them together, and now they have a spin-off series.
It's
Another,
not
a
like
third
Marvel,
one.
which had a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off, and then canceled the spin-off of a spin-off.
Oh yeah, remember? Yeah,
Well, the reason why Marvel and DC like to
Smallville.
what you class well, not so much Marvel. Marvel isn't really too big on retcons, although see things like One More Day. But that's neither here nor there.
They're all
reason-
about retcons.
Not as blatant as DC does it, because Marvel will make small changes in the history. DC will make whopping changes every 5 years.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when it comes to this quote-unquote black casting of what they do, it's because they've been pretty much co-opted by the progressive stack. And there's just no point if you don't like this progressive ideology, stop buying them. Honestly, boycott anything
Well, I
with
don't.
Marvel.
I haven't bought any DC comics in. Actually, I stopped buying DC comics after the guy who's currently writing Batgirl blocked me on Twitter because I said I was getting harassed for defending the cover choice for the Batgirl 41 variant cover.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I said, because I support it and I'm getting harassed by people, it doesn't count. And then he blocked me afterwards. I haven't bought
Yeah,
anything.
that guy is an idiot though.
Yeah, it just really seems that I think Gail Simone did a better job with Batgirl than that guy did. Obviously.
Most people, look what they did with Power Girl. They ran Power Girl into the fucking ground after.
No, they ruined the New 52. That's when they changed her completely. Is after the New 52 came out.
Even when the New 52 was kind of coming into it, when you had the artwork being done by Amanda Connor and I think it was Jason Gray and or Jason Palamonti and something Gray, I can't remember his first name, and I hate the fact that I forgot it. They did the first 12 issues of Power Girl, and it was awesome. They did a fantastic job of with that, and they created a good character with good stories, good writing, and fantastic artwork for the first 12 chapters. And then they were just like, forget it. And then they just screwed off. They just jacked off onto a page and go, look it. Here's Power Girl now. That's all DC's doing with most of their franchises now. Is it's like they have just one guy walk in there, shit on paper, and then they Xerox it and go, done. It's over. Get it out there. Like they've. I was such a DC fanboy growing up, and they've completely ruined my interest in any of their comics. And Marvel's not much better, and they drove me over to third parties like Dark Horse and fucking Image Comics now.
What
like
about Archie
the only two.
Comics that put out Mega Man and the other stuff?
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened with Archie?
Yeah, fucking SJWs ruined that Kickstarter though. Did you hear about that, Tyler?
Yeah, I heard something about it. Like not a whole lot.
Talk about it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Archie is an interesting case study because they've pretty much done a 180. They were previously they're pandering to like the to more of a family home centric Christian audience, especially back in the 80s, and now they're appealing to a cozy progressivist type audience. So basically, they've gone from one end of the authoritarian spectrum to the other end of the authoritarian spectrum.
I just remember back in the days, my mom told me that she used to read Archie comics back when she was a little kid. Probably a lot of our parents read their comics when they were young, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
my
getting
dad used to
tired
have
of
an
this.
entire box full of Archie comics.
This progressivist bullshit's gonna kill DC and Marvel if they don't do something fast.
Well, the thing about comics is that they're dying off because of lack of interest. People just aren't willing to shell out.
No, but I mean
money.
just in general, just like the lore behind it and stuff like that. People aren't going to give a shit about it anymore if they keep like trying to switch it up, like the female Thor, and then them say, "Oh no, you know why she's a female Thor? It's because what's her name had breast cancer, and Thor's love interest had breast cancer, and she's dying, and every time." She's worthy or some bullshit like that, and they're trying to make us feel bad. And I still call bullshit on it. That's a dumbass thing to do.
The reason why it's bullshit is because it's the erasure of Thor. Basically, they don't want Thor to be his own entity. They want it to be a title. And it's just like the most insidious thing I can think of doing to a character. It'd be like if you took Bruce Wayne and said that no, you're not actually Bruce Wayne. See, Bruce Wayne is a title. You're really you're really Wayne's son. And you're essentially this guy who is just nothing, and now now we're gonna get, like, I don't know, Cassidy Cassandra, and she's gonna be the new Batman. And
okay,
no, sorry, the new Bruce Wayne, I should say.
Remember.
And keep in mind, there's a reason why I said Bruce Wayne instead of Batman, because Batman is a title, but Bruce Wayne is not a title. That's his name. And so
exactly.
So in Marvel Comics, what they did was they retconned Thor's name. So no. See, he's not Thor. Thor's a title now, even though this completely contradicts the basis of the character. And so they destroyed him with that writing. They couldn't have just had a female Asgardian take the mantle of Defender of Asgard. No. That would have been too politically correct.
I remember back in the days, like Thor had the guy had to transform using the hammer, saying Thor.
There's been so many retcons with that character that's just utterly ridiculous.
I know they kept
which
modifying him. It's like, okay, he transforms. Same with the Hulk. He has to be triggered by some stupid. Sorry for using that word. Getting pissed off by something, and he has to transform.
He's always went mad. He always gets mad. When I get mad, you won't like
punch him or hurt him. He gets mad and beats the shit out of him.
That's how it always was with the Hulk. He gets mad and he turns green.
The one thing people don't talk about, I've noticed this in the movie. I think the Hulk has a weakness not many people talk about. His weakness is, I've noticed that when he sees people scared of him or have fear of the Hulk, he's very vulnerable. I've noticed.
Yeah, there's also another character I like to see, but unfortunately, I don't even think DC will never bring him back. What? But they do. I know they will, because I wish they would bring back the old Azrael.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what? The only thing DC is doing right, like how I said, this is the Flash and Arrow. Those are the only two things DC, in my opinion,
I kind of liked, even though he's an asshole, and he tends to be like, he kills people.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he does kill people. But I did like him when he tried to help out Batman. But when he started acting crazy, I was laughing when he got his lights punched out by Batman.
Yeah, but what they're doing on the DC things, I bet everybody's been watching it on what's it called? I bet everybody's been watching this show. But one thing I actually like what they're doing with the Flash and Arrow is they're actually doing the villains pretty well done to the most part. One of my favorite Flash villains, Gorilla Grodd.
All right.
They actually did really. It was actually really good of how they did Gorilla Grodd.
All right, Tyler has to go. So, any final thoughts, Tyler?
No, not particularly. I've got pretty much everything up that I wanted to say. Don't buy Ubisoft games because they suck. Don't buy DC Comics because they're terrible. Don't support Marvel because Marvel's for dumb babies.
Support indie comic books.
Yeah, support indie comic books. Go and watch Indie Game the movie. And
I watched that one.
Oh, yeah.
Go and laugh at how horrible all those people are. Don't focus on drama. Don't focus on people like me. Do your own thing. Watch my YouTube videos. Donate to my Patreon.
Oh, you forgot to talk about Konami. What's up with Konami, Tyler?
Oh, okay, fine. I can do this really quick. Konami fucking sucks. In short, In short, they suck. If you want me to give it into detail, watch them. Just watch them.
I already know.
They are a case study on how not to be a fucking video game company because you're incompetent. You are looking at a market, realizing that market over there is really saturated and it's starting to fall apart. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go full balls to the wall into that while we're still attempting to try to legalize gambling, even though Japan doesn't want to legalize gambling. But no, they're going to try to do it, and that's what they're going to try to put it
Yeah,
into.
they're going to even focus on pachinko machines and slot machines.
Therefore, they're going to continue down the track of doing what they've been doing for the past decade, which is ruining their top 4 fucking franchises. They have the fucking the soccer game, the PES one. They have Castlevania. They have Metal Gear Solid, and they had Silent Hill. They gave Silent Hill over to like 5 different Western developers who all fucked it up, and then they just canned the one that people actually cared about. Then they have Metal Gear. They fired the one guy in all of gaming that people who are barely gamers would tell you the name of, at least the last name of. Everybody knew who Kojima was, and then they fired him. So now there's no Kojima, there's no David Hayter working on Metal Gear. Metal Gear is dead. Metal Gear Solid 5 is the last Metal Gear to buy.
Yeah, also, there was a Kickstarter started by the guy that worked on Castlevania, The Symphony of the Night, and it became successful. And
over 2 million.
Yeah, over 2 million. And yeah, Konami, you missed your opportunity.
I've been thinking, when I've been playing my PC games, I've been really sticking with the indie games, not the SJW indie devs, but I've been sticking to games like Kerbal. I've been playing The Forest. I've been playing Stranded Deep. Those games are actually pretty good games.
Also, real quick, Konami, thanks a lot for ruining just everything, and I guess I'll never see Yu-Gi-Oh games ever again.
No, you'll still see Yu-Gi-Oh. You'll still see Yu-Gi-Oh games for at least a little while because they realize that shit prints money for them as well. And then they had Castlevania, which they did with Castlevania, did the same exact thing with Castlevania that they did with Silent Hill, which is they gave it over to Western developers, made 2 games, then canned it.
Yeah, but the last game they put out with Yu-Gi-Oh, it was a digital copy, though. You didn't have no physical copy.
Oh, no, they're not going to do physical anymore. It's a card game. They're not gonna, why would they do a physical release of a card game anymore?
Yeah, they used to, though.
Yeah, they used to back when digital distribution was harder to come by. Like now that it's super easy, they have no drive to. I mean, it doesn't even matter. They're going into full-on mobile gaming, and I hope to God it sinks the company, and all of them are. All the CEOs that are running that place are fucking unemployed. I hope they all take a one-way trip out to the suicide forest and then never get
found. They're full on Macintosh right now.
No, I'm saying that when those guys get unemployed, which I hope to God that they do, I hope they all take a one-way trip out to the Japanese suicide forest and are never seen again. Because look, they are going to be part of the group that tries to tank Japanese fucking gaming. Which is like all that I play anymore because it's all that's entertaining. It's the only thing that tries to revolutionize and do things differently. Here in the West, all they're doing is the same crap. They're just churning out the same shit with a different type of paint on it. Well, the Japanese are at least attempting something different.
Blame for that.
Yeah, not me. I don't buy Western.
No, but I'm
Western
just saying
games.
that. I'm just saying a lot of us consumers are partly to blame for that.
Yeah, you guys are you fucking dumbass motherfuckers who are buying your shit games. Stop buying shit games.
No,
buy
and this
good
is
games.
what I have to say though to those people. I'm just saying like this to all the people that go apeshit saying, "Oh, that moan saying, oh, the game is delayed." They're thinking these guys will buy them anyway. Let's just release them early, and the game will be bugged as shit. That's what they're thinking. Because these dumbasses won't stop whining about the game is delayed. I've gotten into so many fights like for Grand Theft Auto 5. They gave us free DLC for the heist DLC, and guess what? Everybody's saying, I waited a year and a half. Wah. And they still wouldn't stop that. They were being a bunch of whiny little bitches, and they should have just said, guess what? If you let these things come out early...
Leon, you made your point.
I know, but I'm just trying to put it out.
I know Tyler has to leave, so...
See you later.
Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah, good
Thanks for coming on, man.
I'm gonna tell you something about Konami, my perspective. Silent Hill is like my son that was birthed when Silent Hill 1 came out. And then Silent Hill 2 came out because it became a teenager. And he was on his golden age. And then Silent Hill 3 came out, being fucking awesome and scary. And then, you know, we got the awkward years. We got Silent Hill 4, but it was not bad. And then Konami put me in jail because Konami tell to the police that I raped him, but it was not, so I'm in jail. and now they took my children and put them to other people, and they give him drugs and kill him little by little. When I was in jail in agony, crying because my child was getting drugged and was getting ruined because Konami is such a bad fucking parent.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like it kind of like hurt me inside seeing Silent Hill this way. I'm a fucking fanboy. I defend Silent Hill to no end, and what it did to Silent Hill, I fucking hate Konami so much.
They raped the fans.
They raped me.
They did. They raped your childhood, my friend.
In my opinion, I think what would be best for these companies is just to kill off all the old guard franchises and bring up some new ones. Stop milking old IPs, start making new ones. That way you can have revolutionary games.
Innovation.
Right, and also be sure to add new mechanics.
Well, luckily the only company that
JT?
Well, luckily, the only company that actually did that was I'm talking about Square Enix.
Square Enix.
Oh, don't get me
With
started
Brave
about Square Enix with the recent.
Yeah, with Brave. What is it called? Brave by Default or something like that.
What Square Enix did that was bad just recently is they made 2 games, which I agree with Rich from Review Take USA, fraud editions. They did Tomb Raider Fraud Edition, and they did Sleeping Dogs Fraud Edition.
You mean the definitive edition?
Because it was not that.
Not to mention how Square Enix is basically milking the Final Fantasy franchise without actually.
And then they announced Final Fantasy VII. Everybody's cheering and all this show, and then everybody's like, "Really?" Like that when they showed it, just same game, and they're put it on the PS4. It's like, really? That's what they're doing. They're bullshit. They're a game that everybody, a lot of people love. Final Fantasy VII. It's a widely popular game, and they'd make an assload of money if they actually remade it. I'm being truthful here. They're making an assload of money. I mean, voice acting for characters like Cloud in them, that'd be awesome.
The thing is, though, about Final Fantasy series is they're actually it's going on a decline now because they keep on making mistake after mistake after mistake.
Like 7.
No, I'm not even talking about 7. I'm talking.
They could have made money if they did a remake of that movie.
Possibly. The thing is that really kills Final Fantasy was when Final Fantasy 13 came out. All the fans were like, no. And there was so very few people who actually liked Final Fantasy 13. So what did? They doubled down and made 2 more sequels to that game, with a third, and I think one other spin-off to it in addition to those 2 sequels. And Final Fantasy 14, which came out the same year as Final Fantasy 13, was a complete piece of garbage that you had even less fans of that game. And they kept on milking that for all it's worth too, with multiple releases. And they're playing on Final Fantasy 15, and all the Final Fantasy fans just they're not even looking forward to it at all. I mean, why does Square Enix still hold on to Final Fantasy? They should just kill it off and move on.
I'm hearing about the new Final Fantasy is they've improved the game, but I'm not sure yet. Only time will tell.
It's hype. No one's actually played it. Don't believe the hype. It's lies. Media likes to lie to you to get the buy.
JT, didn't Matt just play it?
Who?
Matt, you know Stupe. Didn't he just play it?
Which game?
The new Final Fantasy one that's coming out.
He
played
the demo.
Oh, well, that's just a demo. It's not a reflection of the end product.
And it was actually, he said it was a pretty good demo.
That may be the case, but we've been burned by good demos before. Remember, Aliens, Colonial Marines? It could have been a situation like that. That was also not an isolated incident, so keep that in mind. Crappy demos that are not reflective of the game do exist. So best thing to do with this Final Fantasy game, just like any other game, wait until the review comes out.
That's what I'm doing with Final Fantasy. I'm not the big fan of turn-based, so it's like, hey, they're not doing turn-based anymore, so I might give it a try, but because it's not my type of game. I don't have the patience for a turn-based RPG.
And that's another thing. I've noticed that in the Final Fantasy games, every game they update the combat system, and they keep on flip-flopping whether they want to be turn-based or not turn-based. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I think turn-based games, for the by and large, are out of date, and if you're going to be making new big titles like this, you should abandon the turn-based system and go for something more streamlined. Why would I want to play a game where, in order to fight something, I have to wait through a loading screen, even if it's brief, go to a completely different screen that doesn't match the environment that I was previous in, breaking what's the word I'm looking for? Basically completely breaking immersion.
Yeah.
And essentially
Merciless.
go into a mode where instead of being able to roam freely and interact with things in a real-time basis, I have to go wait, attack, wait, attack, wait, attack, wait. It just doesn't appeal to me. And
I'm saying it like this. The only turn-based strategy that I could heavily accept anymore these days are the Pokemon ones, but
oh yeah, that
mostly because it's the ways of how you handle the fighting is much more in depth than Final Fantasy, because there's so many different types. You have different typing and stuff, and it's really in depth and stuff, and you have to know everything about it. And that's the only game that actually has the excuse for being a turn-based strategy game.
I was going to say something about that. That's what I like about Pokemon or this other game like South Park and Paper Mario. Because those turn-based, I fucking love them a lot. It's because there's skill on it. What you're doing is because you doing what's the word? It doesn't rely too much on RNG, and that's what I like. Because if you understand the depth of the turn-based game, you can do more stuff. I just don't like the RNG-based game. It's like it that I feel that I'm doing something. Like in Paper Mario or South Park, when you attack an enemy, you can do larger attacks, and when they attack you, you can defend yourself. Stuff like that. It feels more in depth than just choosing the powerful attack in Final Fantasy.
And the one thing about Final Fantasy compared to Pokemon is you have these three characters that you fight with, and they're all on the screen. It's like you have the different turns and stuff, and it gets so watered down to the point where it's like you're hitting the same attack over and over again. But with Pokemon, it's like you have only one. There's double battles, so you can have up to 2 or even 3 during rotational battles and stuff like that. But that's way in depth more compared to Final Fantasy. And the only time you have to worry about getting into a battle is if you either walk in front of another trainer, play against someone online, or run into the grass, or you're in a cave. Those are the only times you have to worry about getting into a fight, and you could avoid those with Repel. What could you avoid in Final Fantasy? And that's a problem with them. They're screwing it up. They're killing the game
but
series.
here's the thing. Here's the biggest issue that I know the Japanese developers have been facing since day one. HD games, programming HD games, because I remembered an interview that I remember hearing about them. A certain developer complained that at first the PS3 had issues developing, when they were trying to figure out the programming and everything. It was kind of the biggest issue for them to program games, because it was a totally new system for them, especially when they're using OpenGL or open source, because it was totally new for them to figure out, especially with the processor, the cell processor and everything. That was the biggest problem. Then they find out the Xbox can easily be programmed. It was easier, cheaper, and much more, relaxed, that they could actually program it without any problems, and easily port to the PlayStation.
Yeah. The company that doesn't have the problems anymore, like how I was talking about Pokemon, are Nintendo, really. They're the only ones I could see right now that are innovating. Like Splatoon, for instance. How did you like it, JT?
I think it's a very good game. It's
fun.
It
looks like a really fun game to play. I mean, by hearing what Michael has been saying about how he tried it in E3 and stuff, I have to say it like this. I want to try it. I might buy the Wii U for that game system, but I'm waiting until after E3 before I buy a Wii U to see what Nintendo has
Here's a
planned.
tip: buy it used, because the update takes a long ass time. Hopefully the new ones. Because I remember people complaining about the update time. It's like when they first bought it, the brand spanking new Wii U's, you have to wait like hours for it to download.
Okay. But
buy it used, because they already have the updates, and they'll update like in short times. But whatever you do, just buy the 22, whatever, the 32 gig one, or whatever they have. because the 8 gig white models, they tend to fail. That's why they stopped selling them. Because I own one, and my experience with the white Wii U, you need a hard drive. You need a USB powered hard drive. Trust me, you would love downloading all the games that they have on there, because I have like download off of that thing, and you would not believe all the old ass games I want to play on that system.
Yeah, but with the Wii U, but Nintendo is the only one right now that is actually caring about doing innovation. They're not giving a shit about they don't give a shit. It's like they're focusing on new games. Yes, they're sleeping on their IPs, which is bad. I mean, Star Fox, Earthbound, all those games. They're sleeping on.
Are you talking about Nintendo?
Yes, they're sleeping on
the
their
thing
IPs.
about the
You know what
Earthbound
they're doing?
games is an interesting case, because the Earthbound series, basically what you can get away with in Japan, you can't get away with America. What I mean by that is copyright infringement. Essentially, the only reason why only one of the Earthbound games was released in the US was specifically because they were able to get around it, but the other games they can't, because there are so many riffs from Beatles songs and other American pop culture that they put into those games that they legally cannot make variants of them in the United States unless they completely remake them.
Yeah, and that's
And
the
that's
sad
so
part.
ironic that the Japanese companies are DMCAing a lot of the game videos and stuff, like what Nintendo is doing with their shitty YouTube plans and stuff. But yet
I don't
they
think it's
give
that
up.
terrible. I think that they have a right to protect
Koch
the content.
Media did the same thing.
Oh, that? Are you talking about the Kermit the Frog incident?
Yeah,
That was fun.
actually, Koch Media did the same thing.
I mean, how petty do you have to be that some random live stream in which a bunch of goobers are talking about random stuff, you have to go ahead and report the stream and get it taken down by YouTube because of some alleged copyright infringement based on some content you own? It's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad that was able to get reversed, though.
Yeah, because that thing was stupid, and I have to agree with whatever happened to Anadol. I felt bad. I was like, damn, that motherfucker got copyright.
Because it was something to do with what Kermit was showing on his video. Someone was getting butthurt because we were Gamergate and they wanted to copyright Kermit.
Yeah, that was Sarah Butts.
Yes, it was Butts. I mean, come on now.
How do we know what? Well, there's a very good likelihood of that happening, but unless you have confirmation of that, it's not necessarily the case.
I know, and the fact that we had a conversation with Sarah Butts on live stream, and yet Sarah Butts went like, "Oh, you're all a bunch of harassers. You're all a bunch of harassers," over and over again like a broken record.
Well, Butts has much bigger problems to worry about right now.
Yes.
And whatever consequences befall Butts, let them so where they may, because she's guilty of some really, really shady stuff.
Yeah, I know, but here's what Gamer Ghazi thought of her. According to Balinor, go ahead, Balinor, explain to them.
Balinor,
are you there?
Wait, what am I explaining?
What does Ghazi think of?
What does Ghazi think of
Butts?
Sarah?
They all hate her. Every time that she posts, she's been downvoted to oblivion.
Really, Ghazi, I mean, this is right after Clueless was praising her.
I'm trying to deal with the Christian Allen situation right now.
Oh yeah, he's asking us to help.
Can I comment on that? I don't think that, in my personal opinion, I don't think that's a situation that needs handling. If he wants to promote a charity that's legit, so long as the charity isn't going to, so long as they're keeping everything on.
I have no problem with him promoting the charity. It's just the first tweet that he sent out said, if this doesn't reach 40K by tomorrow, Gamergate hates war vets.
Did he honestly say that, though?
Yeah.
That was the framing of the way he stated it. So I'm just trying to calm down the situation.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to do...
That's why I've been off of the stream.
I'll tell you what. He can come into the live stream, explain his side of the story.
I'm I'm talking to him right now to get him to do that.
All right, I'll give you the link down here.
Can I say something as
I
my father
don't
who was a
believe that would be in
vet?
the best interest of Christian Allen. I don't think he would be responsive to that. If I'm wrong, he can prove me wrong.
I would like
so
to
I
say
want him.
something
I
here.
want him on so he can talk about it, and possibly I'll.
I would like to say something here about that.
Go ahead. Go
My
ahead.
father is a war vet. He was actually in Iraqi freedom, but he was also in the Gulf War. He was actually in the major tank battle during the Gulf War. So I'm just saying it like this. I don't hate war vets. So I'm getting tired of these people throwing this bullshit.
Leon, why do you hate war vets?
I say I don't hate war vets.
But the only reason why you'd say that is because you secretly hate war vets.
Nope. Then I'll hate my own father, but
Dude, I'm messing with you.
I know you are.
Yeah, this is why, like, how do I put it? This is why whenever someone says, why don't you explicitly state you're against something? Because when you explicitly state you're against something, what they want to do is turn that around and say, well, you had to go out of your way to say that, which means that obviously your real intention is that you honestly support this thing that you said you're going to hate. It's very disingenuous how they pull these kind of cards up, and it's why they want people to say things like this, so that way they can get you caught, and once you play into their hand, they will drag you into the streets and metaphorically beat the crap out of you. And they've done it time and time again. Whenever these progressive types have their way, they always want more, and they'll keep on wanting more until you're done, or until you
grab a newspaper, hit them on the nose, and say, figuratively grab a newspaper, so whack them on the nose and say no, like that, like you do to a dog. Say no.
What you do in response to these people is you make fun of them. It's the one defense you have. You just laugh at their stupid faces, and you watch, and then you rake up the soul. That's what you do, and you keep on doing that until they go away. Like, I'm not saying go out of your way to argue with people, but if they're trying to make you say, oh, why don't you specifically condemn harassment, you answer, why would I have to respond? Why would I have to explicitly state I'm against something that any good-natured individual would already be against? It really is that. Challenge them on them asking you to state that.
And why are you doing the same thing?
Oh yeah, they'll just start screaming. It's like, it's funny hearing these people.
Yeah,
scream.
because I look at them saying, why are you harassing me? And I'm like, look in the mirror, because you're harassing everybody. You're harassing me.
According to their definitions of harassment, of course.
Yeah.
What they're talking about is either people saying things they don't like, people making jokes they don't like, or people just being mean. None of those things are harassment. Harass someone on the internet, you got to go out of your way to do it.
I know, especially
in my opinion, harassment.
Yeah, video about that college guy saying that he got harassed and he was a black dude.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about the one where where this woman told this guy that he was waiting, and that's harassment?
I know.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous video. I was like, this chick is really either just stupid or just, I don't know what the fuck her problem is.
Yeah,
you know what I was doing today?
I'm just waiting to talk to someone. No, you waiting here is harassment. Like, that's how she literally took it.
Yeah, I remember that. They were just saying, like, oh yeah, I remember all that. I was watching Amazing Atheist videos about the feminism and stuff like that earlier today, because I like those videos that he does, the feminism videos.
Amazing Atheist, to me, comes across as very, very petty and is way too engaged in rhetoric, but that's just my opinion. However, one video that does put a smile on my face is the one where he's slapping himself with a belt and saying, sorry I'm white, sorry I'm male.
No, but he was showing, like, the one about the feminism and stuff and how they accuse this like group in Canada being a hate group of MRAs and stuff like that, even though they're like equality something. They're not like just men's rights activists and stuff like that. They're just equality. And then it shows like Big Red and the Big Red and her band of goons pulling the fire alarm, and they show the video to that, and then it shows the other feminists screaming at the guy saying, "I'm just here so you're supporting rape apologists," or something like that. And she just continues attacking me, and like, I want to hear both sides of the story. And she keeps screaming at him, incoherently and stuff like that. And I'm just like, if someone did that to me, I would yell at him. I wouldn't
Yeah,
be so
if
nice.
I was in that situation, I would just get right in her face, yell right back to her, and tell her, if you don't back off, I'm going to call the cops. And that's exactly what how I would handle it.
Yeah.
Because, if someone's doing that to you, you don't deserve to take that. You should stand up for yourself and tell the other person to fuck off. You don't do anything criminal. You don't hit them or anything like that. That's just if they don't, unless they
No.
hit you, in which case
I don't.
you have to
I
defend
don't
yourself if
ever.
necessary.
My
But
opinion
even then,
is
if
violence is the
that frail
final.
woman were to punch me, I wouldn't hit back. There's just no reason
No.
to. She's
No, I'm just saying like this. Violence is like the final answer. Something that you should never go into. You should never go in to do it. And I'm telling this to everybody: don't expect a fight. If there is a fight, just defend yourself. And if push comes to shove, push them out of your way and try to get them away from you. Try to distance yourself with them. And if they're continuing at it, just hit them once.
Run.
And that's all. Or
yeah.
run.
The thing is, you want to minimize harm, and to do that, you basically do what you can to defend yourself, and do whatever you can to get yourself out of the situation.
Yeah.
Now, if someone's
It's
yelling in your
just
face,
like
though,
Street Fighter.
if someone's yelling in your face, though, yell right back, and then then give them a warning. If they don't stop, you're gonna call the cops, and they will probably back down if they're smart. If they're not smart, they'll keep at it, and then and then there are cases where
I would tell the manager of the establishment where I'm at that that this person won't stop, leave me alone. Would you handle them? Because I've done that before.
Yeah. You may have noticed that this big red person has not appeared in any videos since because, pretty much destroyed her. The internet pretty much just laughed her off. And that's how you deal with it. You just make fun of them until they stop because then they realize how dumb they are and it ruins their credibility because now all that anyone can think of when they see her face is just a laughing stock. That's it.
Yeah, she's a laughing stock. She can't be taken serious. Some people think of her as poison, too.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go, guys. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Any final thoughts?
Talk to you later, Sonic.
Like always, I say I wish it was a little more earlier because people sleep.
Yeah, go ahead and shill the live stream, man.
This one?
Yeah, your live stream, and also the fact that we're planning to do a live stream about E3.
Oh yeah, we're planning to do an E3 stream coverage. I still planning a lot of stuff because I'm gonna be doing stuff for Michael at the same time. So let's see how that's gonna go.
Also, there is gonna be a GG gathering in LA somewhere, but it hasn't been announced though where it's at though. But there's supposed to be one up in LA somewhere.
Are you planning to go?
I might. I won't go to E3, but I'm thinking of going to the gathering. It's only 2 hours away on a train.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm hoping to hear from everybody because we're gonna probably do the live stream and we're gonna probably talk about what happened at E3 and everything.
Yeah.
Possibly do some interviews and
Yes.
possibly Michael will pop in and try to tell us what's going on at E3.
Yeah. The only thing is, someone on Twitter, I'm not sure who, said that Mercedes was gonna be at this gathering, but the thing is, from Michael hasn't even gotten her into E3 yet, though.
I know he's trying to contact her and reach out to her. Look, Mercedes, we need you to come and talk to Michael. He's trying to get you into E3 and make you famous.
She's already famous. Oh,
I know she is famous, but she's also somewhat.
Don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure Mercedes has heard. Pretty sure she's taken orders to come before.
Oh, I gotta go, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's talk tomorrow if you're gonna do a stream or off-air hangout.
Okay.
For show.
Yeah, because we need to talk about what we're planning to do.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Later,
Mercedes, just in case you're listening, that was a joke. I'm not being serious there.
Yeah, I sent her something that was totally funny.
I'm gonna say something.
Took the bait on that
Mercedes is one of the ones that I actually get that it's a joke.
I'm gonna say something for Mercedes. I just cannot watch porn of her anymore. It's just weird because I know her now.
Because you really like her.
Like I was talking with her on the off-air hangout with her.
I remember.
And then I was watching. I was like an ass video, and I was like, she was there, and like trying to see him, like I don't feel it. Like I know her.
Yeah. If you follow her on Twitter, you've seen her.
Okay, see you later, guys.
Positions.
Later.
Have a good night.
How long is the hangout gonna go for, JT?
I don't know. I just do it.
We're on the 1 3/4 mark, approximately.
Okay.
Any other discussions this week, Gamergate related?
No. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, Kelly.
I don't really have anything to talk about right now. All I can really say is just some more stuff that I've said before on past streams. I think the big news on everyone's mind is SPJ. I mean, there's probably more stuff happening if you go check out Kotaku in action, or if you're so inclined, the Gamergate HQ board. But otherwise, I really don't have any news for you guys. So, like, it's pretty much just been the same old, same old. The big event SPJ. Personally, the more I think about it, the more I just want to distance myself from it. So that's just my thoughts of where I am now. I'll probably make another article about it, and then that'll probably be it. If any of the guys want if anyone going to the panel who may or may not be listening now, I really doubt that they are. If you want me to send you some talking points or pointers or stuff like that, you can follow me on Twitter, and I can send you a DM about it. Otherwise, I don't really have anything more to say about SPJ. I thought that there would be more time. I didn't expect the committee to just go all right, here is your panelists. These are the people that are going to go. The end. And I'm thinking, well,
yeah, well,
that wasn't a lot of
community.
There wasn't a lot of community feedback in making those decisions.
I know. We did do a voting thing.
Well, yes, but you see, I just
but
don't.
It was SPJ's choice, so.
I guess, but there should have been some time to vet out the people who would be the most qualified to talk about the issues.
This is the only thing I have to say is that this is our only opportunity to prove them wrong.
No, it isn't, and that's a misconception. And the more I look at SPJ, the more I see it as just being some kind of a trap, because does anyone know what credibility the SPJ actually has? Are they a distinguished group? What qualifies them? Are the people who are self-declare themselves journalists actually have degrees? Do they have the pedigree? Who is Koretsky? Why was he kicked out of so many universities? These are all pertinent questions.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, I wonder about this issue too.
Right.
But he also did Ice Magazine, which I was looking at Ice Magazine, going okay, that's kind of
tabloidy.
Tabloidy, yeah.
And if you actually look at his article,
it's kind of like a Maximum magazine type deal.
Yeah, and he's not an objective journalist. He's just this relativistic murky waters that he likes to.
I think he's an opportunist.
No. He is an opportunist. He has his own angle. When I say that, I mean he wants to raise the profile of the SPJ in Region 3. That's his chapter, and he's taking full-on advantage of this. And he saw an opportunity, he seized it, and he's trying to make the best of it. But I really don't appreciate when he makes a blog saying that the best way to minimize harm is to not report pedophiles. Now, granted...
What? Whoa!
Yes, he did. He said that. He's on the record saying that Sarah Butts and Amanda Black don't deserve to have articles about them, despite being known trolls who interact with the community, and the same communities report on them with articles. And he's saying that that's a violation of journalistic ethics by reporting these people.
Okay, because first off, I'm going to say this. Fuck you. We had to deal with them for months, harassing people, bothering people, and even trying to annoy the hell out of people. And you're saying, and they've been known to harass other people. So why the fuck do we have to listen to your bullshit telling us, oh, we shouldn't be telling that you should be leaving these people alone because they're blah blah blah. Fuck you. They've been bothering us, annoying us, doing all this bullshit narrative bullshit, calling us pedophiles, calling us this and this and this. Pissed us off.
Well, his argument is someone like Sarah Butts isn't a public figure, and that therefore isn't a matter of public interest. However, the publications that did stories on Sarah Butts were small, and they were to the communities that were affected by these individuals. Ergo, it is actually relevant to to public interest, the interest of those communities. Ergo, it's not like, Sarah Butts is becoming like an NBC story, although I imagine they would put her on as an example of someone who was harassed by Gamergate, allegedly. And yeah, that's not the case here. And he's using them as examples to like basically appeal to emotion. And he follows this up with another blog saying that, oh, well, Gamergate doesn't respect their mothers.
All right. Okay, old video.
So you may
old school video. Here comes the
I'm
backpedaling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening to him.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to talk about something with deep freeze that I don't think it's been brought up on the website. They don't mention anything about the comic book journalist, but I did see the Mary Sue in there as a website that's boycotted by Gamergate.
The thing about Deep Freeze is it's a one-man operation. It needs a lot of work. So let Bone Golem take a break, and then he'll get back to doing his thing, and he'll probably update it and address all the concerns and criticisms, because he's been getting a lot of criticisms for like a lot of work that needs to be done on the website.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a work in progress though, but I do think that there's some comic book journalists that need to be into Deep Freeze, because a lot of them have biased reportings on Gamergate.
Do some investigative work. Actually look into it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this right now. We only have one opportunity, one chance to break.
Yep.
Either way, we might as well show up and debate these people and
by
tell
all
them.
Means.
Yes, and the fact is, this is our only chance to prove.
No, it isn't.
It's our only chance. It's our only chance because we have that window of opportunity. If we win, we might as well tell them this.
Right.
They are
there is a way around it, though. We could just say to the SPJ no, but I don't see that happening, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't see us standing up and saying, we are not agreeing to your terms, we will abide by our own terms. And we've given SPJ this undue weight of authority. And when I say undue, they may be qualified to make these calls of journalistic integrity. They may not be. And from what I can gather, there's no evidence suggesting that they are qualified.
Okay, right now there's old school media saying this right now. Points where he said it was a breach of ethics. Yeah, breach of ethics, breach of journalistic.
Oh, I know that guy. I'm gonna invite him in if he's willing to come on.
Go ahead, let him. Old school, you want to come in?
Let me just send a message.
Okay, you apparently don't understand that he's attempting to pander to both sides. He takes claims to face value. He wants to get us both in a debate. Not believing claims won't accomplish that.
That's a fair point, and that could be the case. But I don't know if that assumption is correct. I will fully admit that what Koretsky is doing is essentially playing a devil's advocate, and the reason why he's being provocative is for the sole intention to get us to think and to get the opposition to think, and for us to analyze the situation critically, which, regardless of his intentions, would be the correct response. However, at the same time, it makes me highly skeptical of someone who would take such tactics and also assert that to minimize harm, we should protect the ones that would cause the most harm. And that's the issue I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, then don't make assumptions of your own then. FC John, think before you demonize. Yeah.
Okay, right. All right. What I will say to that is that is a fair point, and you're right. I shouldn't assume this. And if someone inferred from my statements that is definitively the case, then that would be incorrect. What I'm calling for isn't to demonize Koretsky. That should not be the case, because we do not know his true intentions, and we don't know exactly what the fallout would be. However, I do think this is reason to be skeptical of Koretsky. We shouldn't just take off our skeptic hats because this is a golden opportunity. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we do have to watch out for things that may be, not as good as they appear. And blindly accepting the word of someone has been a recurring problem, and that's what I'm trying to get at. If I'm wrong, I really hope I am wrong in this, but I do think that people are blindly going into this. But still, Old School raises a good point in that there is other possibilities here than to suggest that that the only possibility is that Koretsky is just being an asshole, or is only doing this for the sole purpose of raising his own profile.
Yeah, because
Also, I shot him a message, and he says he doesn't want to come on stream. But if he wants to discuss this in the chat, I'll happily respond to his comments.
all right.
There's absolutely
All right, now
no
you're
way
fine.
that a regional director of the SPJ would take this and look at it and say, hey, we need to talk about this just to raise his profile.
Okay.
Absolutely no
It
fucking way. It
doesn't-
does not compute. It is not logical. It's
You didn't
not-
assume you.
that's
you
not what
quite
he's doing it for.
Been spinning the narrative that it's a trap since I've been listening. What? Okay. What good does it do to GG? It doesn't. There's the answer for you. Okay, he's right.
I don't fully agree, but he is right in suggesting that you should also be skeptical of what I'm saying. If
And-
someone's taking what I say,
And
In all
I-
seriousness, what fucking benefit would a member of the SPJ, when he's been told by senior members that this is not something you want to discuss, has in coming out and saying, hey, I want to discuss this? There's absolutely zero benefit to him. It's just not something that happens.
Mhm.
This guy is saying, hey, I want to talk about this because I think that there's probably something here. It's not, hey, I'm benefiting from this. He's going to be demonized for it because everyone else within the SPJ is saying, no, you don't want to talk about this. You want to stay the fuck away from it. You're going to get doxxed. You're going to get harassed.
Yeah, and he's giving us this opportunity.
It's as
to
simple
talk
as
about
that.
it.
Like,
We have a
there
chance,
is-
and we should take it. If
there is
we're finally given a
absolutely
chance,
no
let's take
benefit
it.
to Koretsky. Absolutely none.
Old
And
School.
as simple as that.
To respond to what Old School said, if that is the case, then why are you attacking me as a person instead of countering what I'm saying here? Like, the other statements you made were countering that, but then you just decide to turn it upon me and produce your own narrative that I don't ever change my mind or ever agree with someone else. So, just throwing that out there. And as far as this goes, if you're saying that I shouldn't make statements without any kind of that my statements are speculative in nature, fair enough. And to address Balmar's point here, you can be moderate and still have your own angle on the issues. It's not like there's just one. It's not just that there's only one of three different options to have, where you can either be completely one side, moderate, or completely the other side.
That's not what I was saying at all, man.
Well, what you were saying.
I'm saying, what benefit does Koretsky have from actually addressing Gamergate? What benefit? He's not benefiting in the fact that his peers are telling him, no, stay the fuck away from it. He's not benefiting in that the narrative is telling him to stay the fuck away from it.
Well,
He's not benefiting from... Like, seriously, none of us in Gamergate, or very few of us, are journalists. He's not benefiting in any way, shape, or form. He's saying, hey, there's something here that needs to be discussed. He's coming into something that most people, they wouldn't touch with a 39.5-foot pole to rip from the Grinch. It's as simple as that. So I don't see it. I do not see any cost-benefit analysis that says, hey, you have to come after and talk about Gamergate. This is a guy that is saying, I think that, they got a lot of good points. Maybe
the reason why he benefits, and I can actually address this point definitively instead of speculatively, how he benefits is he gives himself a lot of media attention from not only people looking at the hashtag, tweeting out the hashtag, looking into this stuff, not only from people just looking at this issue in general, not even from not only just from the opposition that is going to inevitably start write their own articles and start their own narrative about it, but from the wider public, and it's going to cause a lot of people to come and attend. And if those attendees have admission fees attached to them, that's going to be a financial motive as well. Which, can someone confirm or deny that there's...
Airplay is free.
It's free? Okay,
yeah.
So that's...
The actual conference where they're talking about Gamergate, the 5 hours is completely free to anyone that wants to go there.
Gotcha, but you can see my point on how this is raising Correctsy's profile and it's giving him more attention, correct? And
It's
that in
giving
itself is the benefit.
It's giving him more attention, but it's also ostracizing him from the community that he's been a part of for 20 years.
I say it like this:
It's
gonna be more harm than that poor. If it ends up, if we come out good and the antis come out bad, this is a big if. If this happens, the Gamergate supporters are gonna, or no, this guy's gonna more bad can happen to this guy than can happen to us from this event.
Well,
here's the thing, Old School. To respond to what you said in the chat, if he were to show support to either side, he would immediately be deemed a shill, and the debate has a real chance of imploding. Agreed. Therefore, he has to take all standpoints at face value. It's not his place to make a judgment as moderator. Actually, it's the inverse. I agree with that as well, but I don't agree with Corexy's methods of doing it necessarily. Now, if I am incorrect and he is, and the intent behind his statements, both for our side and for the other side as well, have been to play devil's advocate, then I can understand that. That's not really clear, but the better way to do it, in my opinion, if it was to be above board and fair across the board, would be to make no statements regarding any of the issues supporting either side. That's how I would do it, but maybe I'm wrong in that methodology. If I was going to be making this airplay discussion happen, which is going to include debate, but I fully admit that I could be wrong, and Old School's correct. And hold on a minute.
Well, he's just pointing out the issue here.
Bring up something I saw on Twitter.
What I'm going to say like this: we have to be ready for anything. We can't just be saying, "Oh, this is going to be trapped. This is not." We have to be prepared for everything that's going to be shoved in our faces through this event.
Real quick, I came across this on Twitter. I guess Mike Cernovich has met up with Hot Wheels in person. Anyone see that?
Yeah, I saw that one.
I'm going to look at it. What happened?
He just met with Hot Wheels. He was hanging out with
In
them.
Philippines.
Yep.
Shippers.
Well, the last thing I'll say about airplay, and Old School raises a very good point, it's going to be very hard getting AGG to attend unless Corexy gives them a bone to really chew on and lets them basically tries to concede points on both sides. But at the same time, I don't think it should be our place to just accept his just assume that it's on devil's advocacy, because if we're going to just accept his statements on face value, I do think that we should call him out on it. And I'm also not saying we shouldn't attend the debate, but there is reasons to have a certain level of skepticism about it.
Like I said the other night, the reality is I sincerely want the best of AGG there. And I really do. Because I expect we're going to be sending the absolute best of Gamergate there.
Yep.
I think that we're going to
Milo's
send...
going to be there, and he is a good debater. I mean, he has
Milo
some
is the...
ethical problems. He does have ethical problems. I admit
A
that.
couple.
But you know what? If he goes toe to toe with someone like, let's say, just anyone on Anti-Gamergate, any of the journalists, like Stephen Totillo, for instance.
The only
Milo is the
person
lesser
that
of
we have
two
that's a better
evils.
debater than Milo is Total Biscuit, and Total Biscuit can't be there.
He has health problems.
It's not his health problems. He's going to be in Europe, and that's the way it is. You know, we have to accept that. I'm pretty sure that Total Biscuit would die to go to an SPJ conference and talk about ethics and journalism, but he just can't. And we have to go to our next choices. And in reality, our next choice for a debater is Milo. Milo is the best debater aside from TB that we have.
Yeah,
He's actually a fucking king at debating.
Yeah, and Milo is the best one. I mean, a lot of people want to see Oliver Campbell, but come on now, Milo would be much stronger.
Oliver can debate, but he's too pedantic about it. He's too psychoanalytical. He's very much so almost a mirror of Stephen Totillo when it comes to debating on either side, because Stephen Totillo is a very psychoanalytical guy. He takes the smallest statement and tries to psychoanalyze it. And he's not qualified to, he's not capable to, but that's what he tries to do. I know, I've debated with Stephen Totillo in text. I've ripped him apart in the Kotaku forums a half a dozen times now, under various aliases. But that's how he does things. And Oliver can probably counter that. But Milo is the go for the throat, fuck you up kind of debater. He pulls no punches, and he speaks the truth to an extent. Well, to a massive extent. That's why I'd like to see Derek Smart as a neutral in there, and Brad Wardell as a pro. Because Brad Wardell would fucking own everybody. I don't think most people realize Brad Wardell is an extremely intelligent individual. And Derek Smart's super smart too. He doesn't give a fuck about the entire debate to an extent, but he'll call everyone on their fucking bullshit.
Yeah, he would.
Oh yeah, he really would.
So right now, it could end badly, but if Anti-Gamergate does not send anyone out to the debates, it's going to look bad on them. That's all I have to say.
I know,
It really
and
is, because we'll have a platform of our own to talk. They won't.
Well, they probably won't. They probably will do the whole call bomb threats and all that other shit.
And what will it bring upon them? People just like look on this bullshit like, what the hell are you guys trying to do to us? It's gonna kill their cause. I mean, it's gonna do more harm than good. Like what happened with GG and DC meet up with the evacuate the area type of thing. That right there did more harm to these people than good.
Yeah, and the fact is, this is the interesting part about this. This is why we're trying to stop. Hopefully, this would end it, but then again, it would probably continue on with all their narratives and BS.
Yeah, but that'd be more people on. But that'd be more people. Maybe not on our side, but wouldn't give a shit about them.
Yeah, a lot of the GG meetups, I mean, there are some gonna happen, but right now they're very secretly.
And unorganized.
Yeah, they're secret and unorganized, and you know, I really, A part of me feels like I want to do a meetup in SDCC, and I know Matt'll be there, but it's like, well, gee, I don't know where I should have it at, though, and
Well,
it's a lot of
we do
responsibility.
know one person that didn't get to go to the meetup, and she wasn't invited, and that was Airport or Chobit Coin, but now she renamed herself to Airpout.
That's that's interesting. I'm expecting that she just wasn't following things enough. Like, I knew about the Gamergate and Texas meetups a month and a half ago, just because they were all planning it everywhere.
It would be fun to
It's
go to those meetups.
Yeah, and I was like wondering if Airport was invited, and she lives in Texas. We found out.
everyone was invited.
Hmm.
You just needed to say, "Hey, I'm going."
Pretty much. You
Yeah.
just
Same
handle the
thing
funds
with
of travel, the means of getting there, possibly hotel stay, and good to go. In fact, anyone who wants to go ahead, go.
same
Yeah.
thing with.
Fun.
I'm
Yeah.
half thinking about going to GG in New York City and GG in LA.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
go to GG in LA. I know it's not going
I'm
to
closer to GG in New York
somewhere.
City
I might go to the one
because
in Seattle or the one in Toronto.
I can't get out that way.
You should
now-
probably go to Toronto, maybe.
I'm not anywhere near any of those GG meetups, so
I just need a
can't-
passport.
Leon, there's actually one in Dallas.
I live in Missoula, Montana, and I don't have much for funds.
Oh, I
right
thought
now,
you were
so
Texan.
I'm
I'm
not
pretty I'm pretty far away from every single GG meetup because I live in
Yeah.
Newfoundland.
The only
Yeah,
people.
I live in Missoula, Montana, but I right now my car's broken down, so I can't really get down to GG meetup. I would love to, but I can't.
But my thing is, I want to goad Stephen Totillo and Jason Schreier into going to GG in New York. I think that would be fucking brilliant.
We should give them. We
You
should
know what,
provide them travel fare just so that way they can come.
All
They
I would
live
have
in
to
New York.
say is
I know. Which
I
is
would
why
have
we
to
should-
say is I would love for those GG meetups just to let everybody know that we are doing meetups now and just have these SJWs go ape shit again. They
Yeah.
will. I mean, come on. What worse could happen? All that'll happen is that it'll be.
There is some pretty bad stuff that could potentially happen.
Well,
but
the next GG meetup has it's
uh,
next Saturday.
I've seen pictures of these
And
SJWs.
Huron is the guest of honor. So I would not be surprised if there's some kind of threat or something happening at that.
let them.
Because they have a deep-seated, seething hatred of Huron. Or Aaron, whatever the fuck his name is.
And all I
They
have to
hate
say
him
is
because Zoe
uh,
Quinn hates him. That's
all I
why.
have to say is this: they could continue their threats. If they hurt anybody, you know what's going to happen? They're going to be the terrorists that come out of this, and the FBI will be investigating. If anybody gets hurt,
Oh yeah.
it's going to be on them. I don't want anyone to get hurt, and
Neither do I.
my fear is if someone gets hurt, we now know that the social justice warriors that oppose us are terrorists. Because if anybody gets hurt, I'm not saying they're terrorists now, but if anybody gets hurt, they're gonna prove that they're the terrorists that they've been calling us.
Yeah, that's pretty much what will happen. So if they do something against Aaron, let them do it because they'll just help his case. They'll just highlight how basically people hate him for no reason.
Mm-hmm. And I know that I've been trying to say this is if something like that happened in this state, if like the bomb threat happened, there's almost nothing that happens in Missoula. There's some crimes here and there. There was a there was like a double murder suicide. But other than that, rarely any violent crimes, or no, very little major violent crimes happen where it leads to murder here in the city. It's rare. It happens like once or twice every year. In this case, it was 3 times because 3 people died, but it rarely happens. And what they should be doing is like showing if something like this were to happen, like what happened to GG and DC meetup, the local news would say a group was threatened to bomb, like if this happened at one of the clubs or at one of the bars or something like that. It would say this certain bar was there was a bomb, there was a threat for someone to place bombs all around this bar. So, and then if it was Christina Hoff Sommers there, I bet like one of the several people from the news stations would interview Christina Hoff Sommers and ask her what happened. It would be very big in my hometown if it happened.
And what happened next? They didn't interview her.
But they would probably do it up here, though. I'm not sure if they'd do that in other places, but I know up here, chances are they would. If there's a bomb threat.
Well, what happened? They basically were told that, oh, get out of here, because someone threatened to do harm to them, and it's like, oh, we better get out of here. And of course, they relocated to Five Guys Burgers and Fries, which I heard.
Did you hear on last night's stream what happened? Someone that was there, they actually went back inside after the fire alarm was pulled.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard from them. We heard from someone on Android All Stream yesterday that they actually did come back. They actually were let inside the building. Some went to different venues, but for the majority of the part, they were back in there.
Oh
you
yeah.
guys didn't hear that?
No, I'm reading old school videos thing. Their response to SNR Butch allegations. Stop pedo shaming.
Pretty much.
I know. I know they did. They according to Blake, he told us that they don't give a Gamergazi doesn't give a shit.
All right, so hold everything. Antis are going after Christian Allen right now, trying to convince him that they are pro Gamergate and attacking him, saying "fuck you" kind of things.
The usual.
Oh.
Now
Yeah, we found out who's doing
I'm running
that.
my interference as much as I can, but
Okay. Tell him those are not Gamergate. Whoever they are.
it was Yushiru, Jason Fiore, whatever the fuck his name is. The one that attacked TB and got pissed off when he got responses back months ago.
Yeah, because right now we're dealing with some people who are basically trying to deceive everybody that they are Gamergate, and we've been dealing with them for months now.
It's a railroad attack.
I sent Christian a DM about it.
Yeah, we've been dealing with some Tumblrettes and something awful goons, and we've been
dealing with something awful goons for ages.
Yeah,
and ages, but it's the Tumblrettes and the Tumblerites that are more of a new occurrence.
Yeah, and we found out that it was just they became a hybrid and joined forces and decided to go after the 8chan board because they're trying to take down the 8chan board.
They have been doing this for months.
8chan operates within the limits of the law, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Oh, but there is. They've done several things to hurt 8chan. They got Patreon. They've smeared them in the media. They killed their Cloudflare service. They've gotten rid of their Patreon funding. They got rid of their Reddit funding. I mean, there's just no end.
Cloudflare still supports 8chan.
It does? I was under.
Cloudflare doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, well then, I remember in January they had to switch servers or something because it was
They had to switch. They had to switch service providers.
Right.
Not Cloudflare. Cloudflare doesn't give a fuck.
Right. So which server provider were they previously on?
They were on one in the eastern United States. Or no, they were on one in Quebec, here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to switch to one in the United States. It's not a big deal what happened there.
Well, I remember at the time it was like, it was like about a good week before 8chan was fully up and running.
No, it was only about a 24-hour period that it wasn't full-fledged.
Are you
and
sure?
And they DDoSed the shit out of 8chan.
Yeah. But the point is,
Oh,
they're
no,
doing
it wasn't.
everything in their power to get 8chan off the net. And I
Yeah,
don't
but
think it's going to stop.
they can't because it's part of the ClearNet.
They may be able to because of Baphomet.
No, not at all. Baphomet does not break any laws. Any laws that get broken on Baphomet, they get deleted instantly.
I'm gonna sign off right now. I'll be back on in a little bit if the off air is gonna be on. I'll be up. I'll see you guys later.
Leon, have a good night.
You too.
Yeah.
Later on, Leon.
Later, Leon.
Yeah, because we finally got one of them, but and that was they doxed the guy. According Baphomet doxed the person responsible for trying to turn the boards against each other.
So there was multiple people involved with that. Doxing isn't necessarily illegal. It can be illegal.
I would prefer to talk about this offline.
That's fine. We'll tell you. We're sorry.
You have inside knowledge?
I do.
The correct answer was I can't answer that question or something like that.
That's fine. We'll leave that.
Having knowledge is one thing. Talking about your knowledge isn't.
Zamarin, do you want to say anything?
No, not really. You gonna cut off the stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut off the stream. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching.
Yeah, take care, Gamergate.
Thanks,
Have a good
everybody.
night.
Good night.
Good night.